That's it. We should be live, and I'm ready for it to pop up in my browser so I can hit mute really quickly so you don't hear me twice. Good
The
evening.
mix makes you hear them twice.
There we go. Muted successfully. Wow. So you have got, as you can tell from looking at your screen, the OGs, myself and Scott, the two remaining OGs anyway, on this show. And it is August Live News. So we can kick things off with the usual blither blather. Then we will have a little comment so we can get into what we've been up to this last month. It has just been such a busy month for me. Not necessarily doing stuff, but being in different places. And, I think I've had one weekend at home the whole month. Spinal's just dropped into chat. Hello, Spinal.
Hello, Spinal.
So, yes, just holidays, trips away, that kind of thing. Something of a heat wave in the UK. So, kind of come to an end now. We've got some rain for the first time in some parts of the country for a couple of months. So, we're getting rain just as I'm going to Woolton Park for the weekend to watch the Gold Cup again, which is all the vintage racing. So, Stu, who Scott has met, and you will have possibly met if you've been to shows with us. He's going to be there in his camper, so catch up with Stu. So we went away, I think we did about 10 days, went to the coast in Wales. Just fantastic weather. We were on a site right on the beach, and there's a mountain behind us, and there were people jumping off a mountain and parascending down and landing on the beach, which was pretty cool to watch. Lots of wild swimming in the sea.
You didn't go for a glide, Michael?
Not this time. I have done it before. A tandem jump off a Turkish mountain. Took my life in my hands, but I was young and foolish back then. But literally, when I did it in Turkey, I don't know if I've told this story before. So they drove us up to the top of this mountain in a jeep, and there's about a dozen people all together. 6 tandem jumpers, all people from our hotel, like 6 guests and 6, people who'd done it before. And when we got there were some British tourists who took their own kit and made their own way up there. And one of them had lost the air in his chute and just crashed into the mountain and died. So a couple of these Turkish guys had to go across and retrieve his body. So we're all just stood there on top of this mountain, waiting to jump off while they go and retrieve this guy's body. So I set off first, and it's just like a real steep shale incline. And we're running down, and the guy said to me before we go, he says, right, we'll start running, the chute will fill, we'll lift in the air. Do not stop moving your legs because we will come back down again.
Even when you keep running until I tell you to stop.
Yeah. So that's how it happened. Yeah, started running, we lifted off the ground, legs kept moving, we came down with a bit of force and kept running again, and then luckily got airborne as we ran out of mountain. So then we're gliding down, and we land on the beach in front of our hotel. And all the wives and partners and that are there, like, oh, you've been ages, where have you been? And I couldn't tell them, like, while these other 2 guys were in the air on the way down, like, oh, some guy dead up there.
They had to clear the bodies out of the mechanism first.
Yeah. So once the last guy out of our group was safely down on the ground, we're like, you'll never believe it, there's a dead guy up there.
Dude, so that's no joke. Like, many years ago, well, I don't know, everything runs together some years ago.
No, it was last week.
I bought a power paraglider rig, which is we have the backpack with the motor and the prop and all that.
Yeah.
And it's the motored version of what you were doing. So you lay out the chute. You can either do a forward launch or a reverse launch. So you're either running into the wind and pulling the chute up, or you're pulling the chute up in front of you and then untwisting and going. But basically the point is you get the chute inflated and up, and then you start running, you go to throttle, right? Well, I've got 2 knees nowadays that would absolutely preclude any such thing. Yeah. I could barely walk briskly. So you just start running, and in the end, I mean, it's you're using a 2-stroke motor, which reliability is, but if done right, you are in a parachute in a descent configuration. And literally, like when you're going to land, you come in, and let's say you're like, I don't know, like 100 or so feet up, and okay, I'm over the field. There's no real weird winds. I'm not going to need to power out of this. I'm definitely landing, right? Mm-hmm. You just hit the kill switch, kill the motor, and then you just, stow the throttle and come in and brake and land, right? But I thought, okay, I'm going to keep this thing in the back of the hangar, and if I'm out, working on something on a Sunday evening and the wind's calm, I'll go out for a flight. I did that like twice. I realized I'm not going to really use this much. But there are people that do pretty, sane types of flying with that. And then there's the other folk, the largely we'll just call them the deceased. And so it's not like the FAA where you have like a designated instructor. Like if you are a CFI, you are a certified flight instructor, right? And your students do check rides.
Fucking idiot.
Well, because this is it's not a license. It's as it should be. It's outside of government licensing. You can just simply get a parachute, get a motor, and go fly. It's none of the government's fucking business, and that's great that that's there. But the thing I noticed is like because the community is less organized, the instruction is kind of done like, hey, I'm an instructor. Oh, great, he's an instructor. And what makes him so? Well, he says he is. And the guy that was sort of the local instructor in this area of Northern Virginia and all that, first warning sign, he was a chiropractor. So maybe opinions on chiropractors vary. I think they're illegitimate witch doctors. Some people think they're, miracle workers or whatever. But I would never call one a real doctor. So I remember his email to this day was one good doc. I'm like, bro, you're not a doctor. You can't prescribe anything. You're not a physician. You can't do surgeries. You've got some cockamamie theories about how alignments of the spine cause everything. But anyway, this dude was the instructor that sort of taught people how to fly powered parachuting. And I was not at all surprised to find out one year that he was down in Costa Rica, I think. Mm-hmm. And they were like running along these mountains, catching the wave, the air currents that come off the mountains and trying to blast up to all these heights. And they had to get a crane and go get his ass off the side of the mountain when he died. I wasn't even surprised. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I don't think it's the aircraft. I think it's what you're doing with it is the risk factor there.
With you saying like they're not real doctors. Like, when I bought my last house, not this one, I was having loads of work done and had a joiner there, and me and a few other friends were moving stuff in, and I said to him in front of him, I said, hey, if any of you want a good joiner, I said, Johnny has worked with quite a few. So yes, holidays. Yes, lots of swimming in the sea, in lakes, all good fun. So the grandkids came, my eldest daughter and their family, so they've got a kayak. Paula and I have got paddle boards, so we're twatting about on the water for a couple of weeks. A good time was had by all.
Spinal asked, are Turkish mountains different from regular mountains? Yeah, they're very hairy. they have very hairy knuckles.
Yeah. I ended up in hospital. When was it? About a week ago. Had a finger problem. Which camera? There's the camera. So you can see that one. It's a bit red and a bit messy. I don't know if it'll.
That one?
Yeah, pick it up on camera. This one, but it has started to bend. So I've got a couple of fingers where, a bit of arthritis and the knuckles started bending. But this one, I've had a lump on it for, I don't know, months, probably a year. And it's put pressure on my nail. My nail's a bit misshapen. And while we were on holiday, the last couple of days, it just started swelling up, filling up with fluid. Just a real mess, really sore, couldn't really sleep. I was having to drain it every day. And I noticed coming to the surface, there's something in there, a splinter or something, and my body had finally started rejecting it. But now, so I've been on.
I feel like this needs a theme song. Now in my mind, what's playing is this little dee 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 dee. Mike's bodily functions. Welcome to junction of the function of Mike's fluids.
Mike's body rejected it.
Expressing fluids, expressing solids.
So while all that was going on, so I went to the hospital when we got back.
It's just a pile of pus.
And they x-rayed it, and he said to me beforehand, he said, I can authorise an x-ray, but if it's a wood splinter or a thorn or something, it won't show up. And it didn't. But while all that's been going on, arthritis has kicked in that knuckle, and the knuckle started bending. And it's just a real bitch. It's so sore, I can barely do anything with it. So I'm in a bit of pain, but I went on our wonderful doctor's system. So it used to be, my old doctor, going back a few years, you could turn up on the day and wait in the waiting room, or you could book an appointment for maybe the next day, 2 days at a push. So today I had to go on a website, fill in a form, tell them what was wrong, upload a picture if possible, say if I wanted an in-person visit or a phone call, and I've got an in-person visit in a week. So I've got to wait a fucking week. So I've run out of tablets, I'm taking painkillers like a mofo, and my finger's fucking falling off, so... Not great. Well done, NHS.
Any of you out there dreaming of nationalized care here, think very carefully.
Indeed, indeed. The NHS has lots of money. They just spend it on middle fucking management and not doctors and nurses.
It sounds like the VA. Dude, okay. Let me tell you about the VA. Somebody, once said... well, you veterans, you have, VA and all. It's like, that's socialized. What the fuck it is. It's a job benefit that you desperately need after the demands of the job. But, no, let me tell you straight up, okay? You can go into a VA hospital, like you go down here to Fredericksburg, right? You walk in the front door. It's a fucking palace. The only way I can describe the VA hospital, like the first time you walk in, you feel like a fucking hillbilly walking into, like, a mansion, right? It is that beautiful. It's insane how palatial, and anybody looking at it will go, my God, that is the healthcare standard for the American veteran. Fucking stunning, right? And you realize that that's where all the money went. And the doctors are fucking third worlders that, like, in broken English are telling you, like, hey, like, this finger is a problem. Oh, don't touch it. What? Yeah, don't touch finger. I'm like, you're the fucking doctor here, and like, I know where the money went. Yeah. So the NHS burns up the money in middle management, and then we burn it up in any kind of government healthcare. We burn it up from middle management, upper management, and their palatial estates that they work in. And if anything's left for healthcare, well, that was
so be it.
We didn't do our job because some money was left.
Yeah.
But
if we don't spend it all, we won't get any next year. So sticking with health matters, this time cat-related health matters. I know Scott lost Fuzz last year, 2 years ago, something like that.
2 years ago, yeah.
So for the last, 2 months, 3 months, my cat Raven, so we've 3 in the house, 2 were Paula's, 1 was mine, Raven, and she's just not been eating. She's been off of food, just lethargic, and just really losing weight really fast. So nothing obviously wrong with her, but she just wasn't eating. So every day I'm coming home from work. She usually sleeps on my chair or bed in the day. So I'm coming home. She doesn't move. She's partially deaf now. So you can go in a room, say hello, clap your hands. She doesn't move anything. Okay, she's going to be cold when I go to pick her up. So that's been what we've been thinking the last couple of months. Every day, come home expecting her not to be around anymore. And then we went on holiday, like I say, a couple of weeks ago. And we have a cat sitter comes in twice a day. And we've been trying. So Raven has only ever eaten dry food. She's had like a tin of tuna or salmon, I think once, and then never eaten it since. Doesn't eat the other cat's wet food, just not interested. Only ever eaten dry biscuits. And the cat sitter's sending us pictures of her slurping up this fucking meat in jelly, slurping up these like yogurty treat things. She's got all sorts of food down her. So much so now, you get up, before you even get up in the morning, she's downstairs like, come feed me, motherfuckers, like shouting. Like literally can't get enough food down her. She's put on so much weight in the last week. I mean, she's not fat. She needed to put that weight on, but I don't know what's happened. Just she just completely turned it around. It's almost like the naughty kid, you know, won't eat anything his parents put out for his tea, and then he goes to his friends for tea, and oh, how did little Johnny eat? He's very fussy. Ate everything I put in front of him, and you're like, motherfucker.
That asparagus frappe went right for it.
yeah. I loved it. So yeah, she seems to be on the mend again. So yeah, God knows what went on there.
Like that, man. They, you know, we've had a number of them over the years pass away, and some of them, I mean, they just, you know, they start hitting that downhill and they go fast, you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and you know, the thing is, like, the two that we lost, three that we lost, I mean, all cats basically die of cancer or kidney failure, something like that, you know, around 13, 14 years. That's kind of the gold standard. So, one of our cats that passed away, you know, he's clearly just getting weaker and weaker. He's not coming back, you know, and it's a familiar pattern. But every now and then, cats are so good at hiding any kind of weakness or anything that you'll look like, oh, he's perfectly fine. Then the next day, it's like, what happened? Oh yeah, he had cancer. And the way that our vet explained it is that, like, dogs, when they develop, say, lymph cancer, they tend to develop tumors in outer areas. So there is a loose chance, not a great one, but a loose chance you might spot a tumor on a dog and then have some sort of treatment path, you know, to deal with it. With cats, it develops on the internal nodes. So the cat will literally have super advanced cancer, and by the time, like, a lung collapses and they're dying, you never fucking had a hint. And there's nothing you're doing at that point, right? So, all right, on with the show, everybody.
Yeah. Just before we get into the news, I've got some more terrible news to tell you about. I've actually got some good news to tell you about. So while we're away, we like to troll through the odd charity shop, look for books and things like that. Paula's looking for these books by a certain author, and I always like to pick up a book here and there. So I went in an Oxfam shop and found a Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix in hardback, first edition, £2.99. Go online and have a look how much Harry Potter first editions go for. It's hundreds. You'll see some have gone for over 1,000 in the past, and I paid £2.99 for it. So I've opened it up in the shop, and normally charity shops like that, they'll know what they've got. You know, if it's a first edition, they'll know, and they'll either sell it, you know, away from the shop, or they'll put a super high price on it. So, but they knew what they had, because there was a post-it note inside that said Harry Potter first edition. I'm like, oh, is it a first edition? Check the date. Yeah, it's got the you know, you can tell by the publishing print, and it is a genuine first edition. 2003 this one was. So it's not super old. 2000s. Yeah, it's not super old, but they just go for a lot of money, the hardback first editions.
And that thing went to movies fast.
Pardon?
That thing transitioned from books, Harry Potter, transitioned from books to movies fast.
And it's transitioning into TV as well. They're doing a TV series of it. They're shooting it now, actually.
I never got it. Never appealed to me.
Oh, I do like Harry Potter. I do like the books.
I guess maybe I wasn't a wizard growing up, so, you know.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we now have a word for people that don't possess magical powers.
Muggles.
Sounds offensive, but it isn't.
No. I got recommended a book. It may be one you know about, Scott, called First Light by Jeffrey Wellham. And it is written by the youngest Spitfire pilot. And it's his story of turning up, you know, first day of training, and his experience through the Second World War in the Battle of Britain. So haven't started it yet. I've picked it up. Haven't started it, but had it highly recommended to me. Richard, my son-in-law, recommended it. He said it's one of the best books he ever read and couldn't put it down. So, and he's not a real big history buff either, so sounds like it might be worth you checking that out. A podcast you might want to check out. It's a podcast called Big Design Adventure. So over here we've got a TV show. I don't know if it's still on, called Grand Designs. It's about architecture and people buying and, you know, renovating houses, hosted by a guy called Kevin MacLeod. The show is pretty formulaic, but, you know, this couple, whatever, rich couple, would buy a property, they'd quit their jobs, They'd have a budget for the renovation. They'd run out of money. The man would go back to work. The wife would be pregnant. They'd be living in a trailer. There'd be snow on the ground. And then it cuts back to them. Yes, it's finished. Here it is. Wonderful. So fairly formulaic show. But the guy has a podcast. It's called The Big Design Adventure. Co-hosts it with an Australian guy. And they came over to Spinners Mill, where the computer museum is. And they're checking out the mill, obviously the architecture of the building and the history of the building, and looking at the businesses that were in there. And they turned up in the computer museum as well, and they talk about it quite a bit in the show. So the podcast is called The Big Design Adventure. The episode is Season 3, Episode 8, and it's called Don't Knock the Bloody Thing Down, which I thought was quite amusing. So you might want to check that out. Some good talk about the computer museum and the building in general. Movies-wise, haven't really watched.
If you've not been there,
yeah.
I will say this. If you're in the UK, get in a fucking car, take the 6-hour drive over there from wherever you are, and go see the thing, okay? It's well worth it. Pick a day when Mike's there.
Yeah.
If you're in the U.S., CG is dead. It's gone. There are other expos, some of them good, some of them okay. I think that, Blackpool has really become the new CGE in a lot of ways. It's definitely more of that kind of, everybody there feeling. And I highly, highly recommend getting a plan to get your ass over there, maybe next year, right? Mm-hmm. Come over, go to Blackpool, enjoy it. And you must book in an extra bit of time to stop by the museum, see, of course you want arcade club, all that on Friday night. Mm-hmm. But come in maybe on a Monday or so, go by the museum, get by there during the week, it's a great museum that you need to see. And
if you know where Arcade Club is, the Bury one, it's about 20 minutes away. So you could do both in a day.
Or at the same lunch break.
Yeah, yeah. Movies-wise, haven't watched a whole bunch. I had a Netflix documentary, a true crime documentary recommended called Maternal Instinct. Batshit crazy. Just definitely worth a watch. You can see it. So it's about a particular woman, and you can see she's crazy and she's doing some dumb shit, but you just don't see where it's going. It's pretty mental, worth a watch.
We got this giant thing going on now in the U.S. Just quick aside, this woman, whack job, mentally ill, all that, strangles her fucking 3 children.
Oh
right?
yes, I read about it. Yeah.
And dude, there's a trial going on, right? These fucking psycho hens are lined up by the dozens, cheering her and what she did. Fucking insanity. Yeah. And some of them just straight up go, yeah, she killed the kids. Isn't that awesome? I'm like, not so much. And then the other ones, I'd say it's about 50-50, are like, oh, she didn't do that. The husband made her do it. Healthcare system made her do it. She was innocent. It's like, so half of you are saying she did it and she should, and the other, she reclaimed her freedom or whatever. Dude, these psycho heads, wow. This is the shit they're coming up with, man. Yeah, no wonder I want to buy a fucking farm in the woods with outward facing fucking walls.
Wow.
Shit.
So last month, I think it was, I was talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I think Sparkle said. So there were 29 episodes, the old cartoon animated TV show. They made 29 episodes. There was a 30th script written, but the show was never made. And he told me, oh, yeah, some fans have, pieced together bits of footage from other episodes and made the sound work, done some voiceover with some other actors. So some of the sound's a little off, but I did watch that final episode. It's worth a watch if you like that show, and it does kind of wrap the show up. It did have an ending. They're always trying to get back to their own world from, the Dungeons and Dragons ride or whatever. It does wrap the story up. So that final episode is worth a watch if you like that show. We talked about Android a couple of months ago, the Diane Morgan show. It was just all right.
Dude, I'm really mixed on this. I feel one of two things happened. Either I watched a good show that, I say good, not great, just good. And Diane Morgan wasn't allowed to really be her. Like if I told you, if I said, "Hey, Mike, let me tell you about this new Diane Morgan show." She gives mushroom laced chocolates to an autistic kid at a campsite in order to gain his confidence.
Yeah.
You'd be like, sounds like one of her shows. But then you watch it and you're like, is this really that good? And I think one of two things happened. Either I watched just an okay show that I can't really wrap my head around, or I feel I may have stumbled into a show designed for, like, say, Paula. Like, no, for real.
Yeah.
Like, I think we may have accidentally watched a chick show.
Maybe. Yeah, it's to get women into Diane Morgan shows. You know?
Yeah, they already got the male audience. Now we need to get the female audience.
Yeah. I mean, there were some standout moments in it, but on the whole, not many belly laughs, just, you know, a good watchable background show kind of thing.
I went through it in no time. Like, I binge watched it. Not because it was so fantastic, but because it was kind of like, oh, that was short. Oh, that was short. Well, there's only 2 more. Oh, look, 5 hours later, it's done. And I feel like I watched something for middle-aged British women. I feel that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
So, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, she's normally got kind of going on. She's got kind of a cute thing going, right? But they kind of like, how do we make Diane look kind of blah?
Yeah. And some of those robots were hot.
Now, there's some great lines in there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's like if you describe it, it's 10 times funnier than it was executed.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was her fault. You know, if that, like, I don't know. I just get a feeling like I was watching a show intended to be funny to middle-aged British women, and I'm trying to find it funny for myself. I don't know. Very, very odd.
Indeed it was. We rewatched This Country, which is, I don't know if that would translate across the pond, but it's a comedy show about some kids in, you know, a village in the middle of nowhere just fucking about during the day. It is a funny show. Won quite a few awards, I think, over here, so we rewatched that. It is funny. And I'm about halfway through, maybe just past, in Widow's Bay, which Random spoke about. I think it was last month. That's a good show. Not fantastic, but it's like it's comedy and horror, but both done quite well. And it's almost like what episode's this going to be? Is this one going to be comedy? Is this one going to be horror? It's unusual. And to bring it back to games, yes, this is a retro game show. So the Anbernic that I own, the RG35XX SP. Game Boy Advance SP style format. I was messing around with different firmwares just because I put Batocera on everything now. You know, I've changed to it on the Steam Deck, on the PCs that I use for emulation. So I've moved away from RetroPie and just gone Batocera now on everything. So I was checking if there was a version of it that would run on the Anbernic. There isn't, but there is a fork of it called Nully, spelled Knulli, and it's basically Batocera.
That's hard to even think about. Knwo. I can't.
Knulli, Nulli, Knulli. However you want to say it. It is a fork of Batocera. All the menus are pretty much the same. There's a few things missing, like it doesn't have Kodi built in and that kind of thing, but it will play videos. You just stick them in a ROMs folder called MPV, I think it is. But anyway, I switched firmware, been messing about with that, and I thought I'd try, because I'd never tried this. I've only ever used it handheld, but it's got like a mini HDMI on the back, and it's got Bluetooth, so I thought I'll try it, you know, like a console. So I HDMI'd it up to a big screen, connected 2 Bluetooth controllers to it, and it was just fucking fantastic. The games I tried, you know, multiplayer games, just indiscernible lag, you know, bearing in mind it is a Bluetooth controller anyway. But it was fantastic. I thought, it's going to slow right down. It's going to be unplayable. Absolutely not. You could use it on the road as like a full-on console.
That's what I had. I used to have a pajama. I still do. It's still in there, but I had a pajama in my running RetroPie in my
Travel bag.
Neo Geo.
Neo Geo.
Yeah, same thing. No, in my Neo Geo, and I made a docking station for the Anbernic, and it just plugs in, and then the control panel joins it via Bluetooth, and it's just perfect. I mean, the damn thing just works. So no lag, no nothing. Yeah, it's a great. And then you can just. I mean, I've literally not done it once, but you can like just take the Anbernic out of the arcade and take it with you. But I just got a second one. I mean, but you know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, just breathe some new life into the Anbernic. Been using that quite a bit on the road and what have you. So yes, that's been pretty good. And that I think is just about me for the month.
Ooh. Well, I haven't done anything near that busy. No, so I talked about in the Hardware Flashback, sort of designing the new arcade, you know, and Mike, I settled on. There's more detail on this in the Hardware Flashback, but I settled on how it's going to be. Basically, I'm doing a U shape of a 8-foot by 8-foot by 180-foot tunnel, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. So the way I'm going to lay it out, I'm still working on some of the details of like, you know, because other things occurred to me, but I was looking at the 50 years of Atari in the PlayStation. Now they have the timeline done. If you ever look at a really good timeline, right? So what I decided I'm going to do is like an entrance and an exit at different sides of like the main room in the house. Then 2 hallways that go out, and then it enters into the arcade. So you go in, and it's, you know, like I said, about 8-foot by 8-foot, you know, and just long. Then it takes a turn to the left. Then, you know, 8-foot by 8-foot, takes another turn to the left, and comes back, and there's a door that comes in. So for the entrance, you remember the Flynn's Arcade, secret arcade machine?
Yeah.
All right, so I want to do something like that. So, you know, I'm not going to have, like, the arcades all over the house, in the house, like I did before. It's going to be a separate arcade. But it's going to be set up so that you've got maybe a couple. I'm going to put a couple pinballs, a couple of, you know, maybe like a Kiss pinball and an Asteroids Deluxe, you know. But then I want to do an arcade, you know, with that is the entrance, you know, so you playable, right? But you swing it away, and then there's the hallway into the arcade, right? So I'll start off like, you know, computer space, and then Pong, and, you know, then the various posters, and like, oh, I got like here a gunfight, Midway gunfight with, you know, say the poster for, or something from 75, right? Or 77, the launch of the Atari, next to like a Star Wars, you know, poster, you know, like I can just do like a timeline thing. So you enter at one end, it starts off computer space. You come out the other side next to, like, I think my newest game chronologically is Terminator Salvation. But, you know, or maybe, no, it's Kiss Pinball, but the new one. Yeah, so have it so, like, as you're going through, now that precludes certain things I want to do, like, say, clustering the pinballs together. Because my initial thought was, like, do vids, pins, and then Sims, right? So I've got video games, pinballs, Sims in each hallway, right? That's what I'm calling, I guess, a hallway, the arm of it, the whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of a thought. But I really like the idea of the timeline. But, of course, that might mean that there's 3 videos and then 2 pins, you know. But because of the width I chose, the standard thickness of a game is about 2.5 foot. So that gives you a 5-foot hallway down the center. That's more than enough to grab like a dolly to pull a game out, or to walk, you know, and have it still like you turn to your right. Oh, there's the game. You look, you know, and if
and
I have
play
for like a
back to
pinball,
back if necessary.
Could do, yeah. So there's lots of neat things I can do with that type of space, right? The lighting gets very simple, you know, and I thought I'd doing like eras, maybe like say 70s down like the first hallway, so you've got like shag carpet and infinity lighting. Then you come around the corner into the 80s, and it's all like triangles and dots and grids, and and then I can't figure out what to do with the third hallway because the 90s didn't really have a great aesthetic. But there's some stuff I don't know. So I have settled on this U-shaped configuration, so that like you go through one door, you go from like 70 up through like current day. You go through the other door, you start at like more current and you go back, so you can kind of time travel in either direction, right? So that's how I'm going to do the arcade. I'm still arguing with myself over certain things like, well, do you want to put all the consoles in there? Like have maybe like a, it's going to be hard to find that many store displays in the remaining time I have alive. Like I know people, it took them fucking 25 years to find an Atari store display. So, I'm out there looking for a 2600 store display for the next 30 years. That's about how long I got left, maybe. So what I might be having to do is build replicas of like store displays or something to build like a stylized, I don't know, put the consoles in a whole separate room and have them hooked up, or have them hooked up individually. Okay, then I got to have displays. Well, I have those, so maybe I could. I don't know. I'm still very much on the fence of exactly how I'm gonna, the detail of it, right?
Yeah, I think the a nice way I've seen the consoles done. I think we talked about it on the show where you have like a grid of video outputs, and it's in row 1, you press that button. It's in column 2, you press that button.
I have every one of those.
Yeah,
store display
so
video
you put it
and
in
switchers.
Like a nice wooden cabinet that's backlit and stuff like that. Have maybe a flat screen and a big CRT on top, and maybe have the console a bit like a chill out space. So U-shaped couch, 3 couches in a U-shape around a table for drinks and things, and your consoles are there as well.
See, I thought about that. Here's the only caveat is I did that and I didn't use it. Like I did here in the studio, and it's all like, if you notice behind me, there's no longer a wall of Tamiya. There's like one thing. I'm slowly packing all this up, right? I mean, to disassemble like 100 RC cars and pack them inside, hard cases and all. I'm starting now because I have to start now. But no. So anyway, just to my left here was wire racks, and I did all the consoles. I had the power, I had the AV and the control. I did exactly that, and I had a switcher, and you could go up to it and go click, 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 and switch through the different consoles. And it was everything I wanted to do, and it worked great. But you know what? I didn't use it. I don't know. There's something about it that just didn't lend itself well. I don't know. Maybe it was me. I don't know. But it didn't work per se. So I thought, all right, it didn't work. Technically it worked, but the effect didn't land. I was like, let me try something else. Same wire racks. I uncabled all of that stuff, and I organized like little boxes with like, say, a 2600 and a Nintendo I just leave hooked up. But like, say I've got, like the Odyssey 2. So I've got the Odyssey 2 joystick, power, and then RF in a little box. So I just would take that box out of the bigger box and then hook up the Odyssey 2 and play it. And that I used more and more effectively than when I had that master thing with all the push buttons.
Yeah, that's what I've got for the consoles. I have just little plastic drawers, and each drawer has a system, controllers, power, video, and all of that, and just take it out as you use it and put it back, when you're finished, kind of thing. Just works.
So yeah, but again, So I thought of like exactly as you put it, because I have fewer games, from like the 2000s and the 90s. So obviously, like in this U-shaped thing, you go in, over, and down. Up here, in like the first, second corner, I could obviously, because at that point you're talking about a 16-foot, radius, right? I could do like a U of couches in that corner. I could, wall mount the monitors, or I could do all kinds of shit there. But what about putting the Atari right next to the other 77 arcade games? And then you got like 82, you got Donkey Kong, and then there's a ColecoVision hooked up. I don't know, man. I'm on the fence about this.
I'm against that. Just on hearing it doesn't ring true that having your consoles mixed in with the arcade. Just, I don't know. Doesn't sound right to me. I don't know.
See, where it sounds right to me and where it makes sense is as part of the timeline, right? Like you're walking down this hallway and everything's in time sequence, consoles, and that makes sense to me. And how do I have a Vectrex hooked up, powered, accessible? I'm gonna have to build a fucking custom stand for everything, aren't I? Like instead of one custom thing, like you know what I'm saying? That's where it gets to be like I then arrive at your conclusion of like, well, that part's going to be a mess, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I know you like original hardware, but you know, for your everyday gaming, you know, the 2600, the NES, that kind of thing, just emulate. Just have a PC set up or whatever. You can use, you know, good controllers with it, Bluetooth or cabled, whichever. And then you've still got your systems like either well, exactly, or just keep your systems on display on shelves above the arcades. So your 77 section, you know, you have your 2600 there, but it's on a shelf above the 77 arcades, rather than it being hooked up to a TV and playable. If you want to play 2600, so easy to emulate, and you've probably got multiples if you really want to get one out and play on it.
I've got 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I mean, so the little stuff I got to sort through, right? But as far as the dimensions, and then because the whole thing will be a U shape, well, in the end it'll be a square because it'll go towards the house and there'll be 2 hallways. But in the middle, I can do like a palm tree courtyard, put in the fire pit, whatever. Kind of like you know, you have in your backyard how you've got your you know, like how you've got your backyard layout, right? Yeah. You could do something like that because we're talking about, you know, once you take away the 10-foot from the junction, you're talking like 50 by 50 by 50 space. Well, plus the hall. So let's say 50 by 50 by 60 space. It's going to be a pretty good size, you know, like a courtyard to do like a fire pit or something in. So
outdoor kitchen, all of that.
Yeah, outdoor kitchen, something like that in the middle. And then, okay, so you're just staring at these walls of this. But I could do like a truss system with like an awning over there. I don't know. I've got those things. There's tons of great ideas that this lends itself well towards. And funny, the Florida just signed a law in the Unwanted Government Surveillance Act. So like, whereas other states, like say California, are quite literally putting drones in the air and doing regular overflights looking for unauthorized or allowed structures or whatever. Florida said it is literally fucking illegal to put a drone, you know, for the government to put a drone over your house. So if I want to put an awning, like have say just literally put in like a truss structure, put in an awning, I could just do it, you know, and there's no, so this will be, the arcade will be like a permitted, deliberate structure, you know. But if I decide, I want to do an awning, I can just do it. And literally, they've made it illegal for the government to put a drone or come, and then say, oh, that's not an authorized structure. So like, whereas like you guys have like, the council issues of everything. We have a law going the other direction. Like, if you see one, you just shotgun it out of the air. We're cool. So, so anyway, that's sort of where that's at. So, a lot of what I've been doing has just been slow motion packing and prepping. So, like I said, I know it's literally 2 years, but I got a lot of shit to box up, man, and effectively so. I mean, and so, like, I got 2,600 cartridges in this shelf. I got some in this box, some in this, storage thing. So getting it all together and packed into what I did is I went on Amazon and I started buying these 12 packs of 27-gallon totes, which are about I don't know, they're a large box. I mean, it's right, if you got like heavy stuff in there, it's right about the size that you'd want to be at, so it's not too much.
Yeah.
Big enough to like effectively put like, like you can bubble wrap consoles. I even got, dude, you're going to love this. I bought the craziest thing. This is a bubble wrap machine.
Of course it is.
Yeah,
How many people have you bubble wrapped so far?
Everyone I can catch. So, yeah, basically, it's got this, and I had no sense of the scale of this thing. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I thought it would be like a roll this big, like literally,
Yeah.
and the machine might be this big, and it would, and I get the machine, I'm like, fuck, that's big. And then the bubble wrap, it's $100 for 4 1,000-foot rolls. So I got 4,000 linear feet of bubble wrap.
Fucking hell.
So Amazon drops off the box.
For you Americans, that's 100 semi-trucks long.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So I go in and I get this box from Amazon. I go in and pick it up. I'm like, oh, shit, that's heavy. So I lift it and throw it over my shoulder, take it in the house. And each one of these fucking things is that giant roll. I'm like, wow, that's a bubble wrap. So basically, it's cool. It's got a motor and a heated roller and all. And it blows air into the bubble wrap chambers and then seals it. And you can actually stop at any point, hit pause, tear it off, because it's like every foot it's got to tear off. So I just manufacture like a giant cardboard box of bubble wrap. So like I take a console, I wrap it up, I put it in there. So everything is in a labeled hard tote with bubble wrap, and I can go, all right, tote number 27, what's in there? And it's going to be, because the last year of this is going to be, I got 6 cars to ship. I got a lot of shit to do. And I don't need to be fucking around trying to box up arcade stuff, So, yeah, unfortunately, it's already time to do that this far out. Yeah, so anyway, been busy with that. Video game-wise, you know what? Sometimes things work out, and that's good. I had gotten Horizon Zero Dawn back when it came out. And it had a great aesthetic to it. The whole track inventory system was functional, storyline was seemingly really good. And then one day I got stuck at this pit, and it was like an excavation, and there's these robots in there and this cultist, whatever. And I could never get past that. And I tried and I tried and I tried, and I just gave up. And years and years and years went by, and I just kind of like, oh, that was a shame, because that was a good-looking game. I liked the whole machine animal aesthetic. It was an interesting game. So, they came out with a remastered version of it. I don't know. I can't remember what year it originally launched, but it's been long enough that they did a remastered version. I thought, well, let me see if they fix that, right? So I go through the train-up area, and I couldn't remember where the hell this excavation was. And I actually got to like the main city, and it had been so many years I hadn't played the game that I forgot nearly everything about it. So it's all kind of a new experience. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, this is that area. I wonder if I'm getting stuck here and just have to abandon the game again. And you know what? No, they fixed it. Like, you could not beat this area. It was just, there's a glitch or something wrong. So, I got playing it and, beat it and carried on. Next thing you know, I'm beating the game. I was like, wow, that was a great storyline. I mean, the whole, it's been out for years, no spoilers. They accidentally fucked around and made these self-replicating, self-repairing machines that could feed off of biomass. So basically, they were going to devour the planet down to bare rock, and there's nothing they could do about it. So the humans figured they had a certain amount of time, so they built these hardened facilities, and that the machines couldn't find, and they had like a computer. So basically you have like an angel and a devil. So you have like Hades, the evil AI, and then you've got like Gaia, the good one. And Hades is trying to destroy the earth again, and Gaia is trying to repopulate the earth, and that's where the humans came from. And anyway, great storyline, just really, really, really in depth, and I really enjoyed it. And then it occurred to me, oh yeah, like I remember like a month ago that the Forbidden West or something, I remember seeing that. So since I just finished Horizon Zero Dawn, let's go play Forbidden West. So about maybe a quarter of the way through that, same great continuation of the storyline. A little weird where it's been okay, it's been a couple hundred years since these events. It's been 1,000. It's been a couple millennia. It's been a couple thousand years. Hey, this office, all the monitors still work, even though there's stalactites coming from the ceiling, because it's been 1,000 years. But hey, this chair you can still sit in it. I mean, which is it, right? So they're very flexible with the timeline. That said, great game, enjoying it much. The only other thing I got to mention is that of all the shows on TV, about the only thing that I've been watching is Pluribus, and that is another year for the next season, and then Silo, which is on its third season, about 2/3 of the way through the last season. And I did not read the books, and it's actually good in a way because I feel like there's more of a mystery, unanswered questions, and they do, because if I read the book, I would actually know what's going on in the outside world and all that. So I've really avoided any engagement with reading about the backstory, reading the books, because for somebody who hasn't read the books, they're doing a great job of revealing it and all. So whenever the show does wrap up, I think I will certainly go read the books. But there's no discernible political agenda. There's no misplaced characters. It's just a show, and it's been a long time since they've done just a show. So I'm really enjoying it. If you're not watching it, I highly recommend it. It's a lot like Fallout, except it's a lot like Fallout. I mean, you've got the Vault-Tec is maybe the government, and that's about the only difference. But there's speculation that somebody kicked off the whole apocalypse on purpose, and you're wondering just how permeable, in Fallout, the shelters and all are represented as being very sealed and all, and you find out, well, no, there's some permeability. People come and go from these things, and there's now some permeability questions about Silo. So I wonder if the guy that wrote Silo was a giant Fallout fan and just said, let me rip this off. Or if it was all an original idea and the guy never even owned a console. Who knows? But I don't know. But I think having and that's one thing in the modern era, you have this totality of, there's a game called Fallout 2. I fucking love 80. Fucking 80. Brilliant. All right. I need a moment. So anyway,
80's in chat, by the way, where you should be. And for some reason, Random's there and not here.
80 broke the show. All right. Anyway, I in this, modern world where you can go on YouTube and watch 50 different people do breakdowns of the episodes. You can go read the books. You can go to Grok or whatever and say, give me a summary of the, you can do all that. It's overwhelming, total access to every angle. You can see, Adam Savage walk the set and constantly adjust his fucking glasses for no reason. You can watch them build the sets. You can see the prop master interviews, the behind it. I mean, it's totality of access, right? And by avoiding all of that and letting the show reveal itself, I'm actually having a better experience. It's kind of how it used to be. You didn't have access to all this material. So, curious where you guys fall on that. I had to change phones. I had a giant pain in the ass problem with getting Discord to port over. It wouldn't allow me to go from one phone to the other. But anyway, I finally got that fixed, so I'm back connected to Discord. I'm curious what you guys' thoughts are on embrace the accessibility of all the ephemera of the show, or reject it all and experience the show as a pure entity. So I'm kind of coming down on. I think I might just avoid any and all, like a Falling Skies. That was a great show where they actually had an after show with the cast members. They would do tons of behind the scenes, and I really did enjoy that. But I think it's become a bit much to where now it's so overwhelming that the show just becomes one more bit of noise in the ephemera, if you will. So, anyway, good show, great watch, and enjoyed it very much. And I hear there's a game called Fallout. Mike, show title. There's a game called Fallout 2.
There's a game called Fallout 2. So there was some video game chat there. Yes, this is a video game show. AD is in chat, as we said, and Random as well. So before we just get into some news and a little game discussion, Scott, a couple of things I wanted to ask you about with your moving. Across multiple states, there are a couple of things you're moving that may be problematic. I'm thinking guns and fauna.
Well, no. I mean, I think any. So guns are, well, funny enough. Okay, guns. So Virginia was one. We have this thing called the Second Amendment that kind of says you can have guns and all, and it says Congress and others have a reading problem because it says Congress shall make no law, right? Then the motherfucker's gonna make a law, and it's like, dude, Lewis says you can't do that. So, Virginia was one of the more free states that actually followed the Second Amendment as written in the Constitution, right? And I like everything I have is fine, right? Then they dropped this year. They went full California plus, right? Fucking basically banned and outlawed everything, right? Like 90% of what I own would be illegal. Well, the Supreme Court curb stomped them. They got told no. They're not over. They're coming back, right? But by the time that they even get any further down the road with this stuff, I'll be out of here and I won't have to care.
What about the states that you have to cross state lines and stuff like that with some of your stuff?
No, so there's like, you have what's called a peaceable journey, which other states try and fuck with. Like, basically, like if I'm, say, moving through a state and I'm headed to a different state, right? And that state doesn't allow such and such guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's boxed up, it's being transported, it's clearly not, like let's say you own a gun shop and you have FedEx deliver stock to your store, right? It's got to go through the FedEx shipping system.
Mm-hmm.
That 18-wheeler could go anywhere in the country, right? So, while it might not be legal for somebody to own, it has to be able to transit the roadway system. Although, believe me, there's certain states that would want to fuck with that. So, like New Jersey, every now and then you read about somebody that, gets hauled out of their U-Haul van and they, try and throw it. Fortunately, the moment I leave Virginia, I'm in a progressively friendlier set of environments. Right. It's a non-issue, basically. That's the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I am in and then once I get there, I can set up my own fucking range and shoot right on the property, and it's a non-issue. Basically, non-issue. Things get better for me going from one of the more restrictive states, which they're trying to get to. They've had a little setback of the Constitution that says you can't do that. But if they win, okay, I don't care. I'm out of here anyway. And where I'm going is so friendly to ownership. Non-issue, just a non-issue. So, yes, but you're right. We had a thing we wanted to discuss regarding the video games, right, before we get into the news.
We did. So yes. We had a brief discussion on it last month. You weren't here. We are planning a four-way discussion on this and the topic of, what is retro. But this was, of course, physical video game releases. And I can't remember what the incident was last month, but it was related to Nintendo and the Switch. And they had a clear own goal. They had a clear own goal where they could take advantage of, Sony withdrawing physical games. And they completely missed it. But Random sent in a story, I think it was today, maybe yesterday, Atari re-releasing 39 2600 games on working physical cartridge. So, Sony was saying, well, our audience are ready for digital-only games. And their audience says, no, we are the fuck not.
You said that, not me.
Yeah. So, we have differing opinions on it. I gave mine last month. I'll just briefly recap. I much prefer physical copies of games. I do have many of them on the shelf behind me. I do also use emulation for convenience sake and portability. And
I said, Mike, real quick, let's before we go to each view of it on, I just want to state the problem real quick, and because listeners of this show are the most informed, collector, owner. You guys are on top of this, so it's very unlikely that this is breaking news that you're going to hear it here. But I think probably my guess is the vast majority of you are going to see this as the fucking apocalypse that I think it is, and a certain number of you are going to be like, "Gay, who cares? Indifferent, doesn't impact me at all." And I cannot remotely understand that worldview, but that doesn't make you a terrible person. It just makes you wrong. And
you may also be a terrible person, but that's not the reason.
It's completely unrelated. But no, so we have seen a clear trend of manufacturers keep trying to remove the physical media drive. You've seen each major manufacturer make an attempt to do that. They are kind of half-stepping, I think, this generation by having the option of a digital only. And then next generation, I don't think they have any intention whatsoever to include the physical media option. And you look at that like PlayStation, of course, just announced too, hey, we're going digital only, sort of cementing that the PS6 will not have a drive in it. Mm-hmm. And then the Xbox, same thing. The Switch is already there where many of the games, and this one lacking the serious internal storage.
Just to interrupt, there may not even be an Xbox because they're heading towards the PC, which, the Xbox virtually is, but they are heading PC direction.
Well, I think that's a convergence anyway, that we're going to see the Xbox and the PlayStation end up being, I think what they're going to end up being is either an app that you just run on any hardware, or it's going to be a basically a remote play, a set-top remote play box. It's literally just nothing more than like a VNC, a remote network viewer. All the code is kept and executed server side, and your Xbox is just no different than any other device that has just enough power to decode and encode the incoming and outgoing data and then connect up, right? An Xbox will be no more an Xbox than your smart TV that has the same capability. So that's, I think, the best that you're going to get out of future video game hardware. So anyway, the writing on the wall is insanely apparent. They are killing physical media. I was going to do a good Alex Jones. It's all true. They're killing physical media.
They're turning the frogs gay.
I just have to figure out how to add like a BRRGGH to every fucking word. I can't do it. But, so they are imploding physical media. You will see that phased out by force, and what's going to replace it is going to be server-side retention of data, and that's lights out for a vast majority of our hobbies. So anyway, that is the framework in which, we're having this discussion. So we're going to, it's not a topic it's a topic that's going to progress, but Mike and I felt we definitely had to have a kickoff of this and frame what's coming up. And then as developments happen, we'll, hopefully get together like Sparkle and Random and Mike and I, and we'll have those, ongoing discussions as this evolution occurs, right? So anyway, that's the framework behind what's going on. And Mike, take it away. Give us your where you're headed there.
So yeah, the four of us have differing views. We, see it very differently, as four people might. But we can all see that it's heading the wrong way, and we have a different way of dealing with it or qualifying it and how it, we interact with it. For me, I've purchased digital games, but I've done that with a caveat. I've purchased digital games that I don't necessarily care if I can play in 2 or 3 years' time. Stupid little pick up and and play and throw away Steam games, that kind of thing, puzzle games, what have you. I bought the Tomb Raider collections, the 1 to 3 and the 4 to 6. I bought them on sale. I think I bought them separately, but together I don't think I put more than 15 quid into owning those 6 games. So for me, I'm willing, for the hours I got out of those games, I'm willing to put that much money in with the risk that someday I'll lose access to it. But I already have those games. They're just not remastered. So I'm okay with the decisions I've made and the games I've bought digitally. I don't think it's a good way for the market to go. As you know, as most of us, either on this show or listening to this show, I've got physical cartridges from 1977 behind me on the shelf. And I love those things. I picked some up at Expo. We play them in the booth on the 2600 there. You know, I love physical media. If I buy something, I own it and I want to keep it. And that is the premise that they are trying to take away. You know, the phrase we've used in the past, your previously purchased content. You know, and it's not just video games, it's movies as well. They are, you know, they have a licensing deal with a studio or a production company for 3 years. You buy a box set or a movie. After 3 years, they take it off the platform and you've lost it, even though you paid for it. That is, you know, a legal premise that I thoroughly disagree with.
Oh, boy, do I. Yes, I agree. You know, my take on it is that this is the biggest change in gaming since inception. And I asked myself, I said, okay, hold on. Before you just blurt that out because I said so, why am I saying that? What are the other friction points that could be equivalent, right? So, okay, let's say the first video game consoles that emerged, because this is primarily a console discussion. The first video game consoles that emerged were like the Pong and Pong clones, where they were hardwired, they had no interchangeable games, but it was a game, even if it was characterized as 2,000 games in one, it was one game with 2,000 slight variations. So it was like Pong was a physical thing. You got a box, you took it out, you hooked it up, right? Only ever played that game. So the next biggest change would be the Fairchild Channel F and the Atari 2600. That brought us cartridges that contained data executable on a general purpose computer. So you didn't have to necessarily write a video game. I mean, you would, but you could have written a completely different application that would run on a 6502 with that limited amount of RAM. And you could have run an email server off of a 2600. If you had the IO, you could literally have a cartridge there that would run the mail server protocol and sort mail and send it and all, whatever, you know, web server, whatever. It's just a general purpose computer. The fact that its hardware is extremely limited and generally only useful for doing a video game dictates, you know, its design purpose. But that said, that was the big change, right? Okay. And then the next big change, I would say, was the transition from pure cartridge to rotating media, which gave a huge boost in storage space. Now, eventually, cartridge media would again eclipse rotating, but rotating was certainly, you know, CD-ROM based, DVD, whatever based media was certainly a dominant thing for 20, 25 years. And, okay, how does this compare, I would say, to those two events? The greatest media, if you're proposing this as a media change, right? Did the change from hardwired consoles to cartridges prevent you from permanently owning a game? No, not at all. The same thing with the transmission to rotating media. There was absolutely no change in ownership, intangibility, and consumer rights, whether it be Dungeons and Dragons on the Intellivision or whether it be, you know, whatever game on the PlayStation 3. That license ended, the deal collapsed, the lawyers are up in arms. As much as, like, whoever the fuck currently owns D&D, I couldn't tell you. But they don't have a good reputation as being consumer friendly. Whoever the hell that is, or maybe that was Wizards of the Coast and it's been sold again. I don't know. Point being, whoever it is that, say, owns D&D might want to reach into, because at one point they did effectively prevent, like, when Keith and the team wanted to release the Intellivision flashback, they had to rename Minotaur, well, D&D into Minotaur, because the licensing wasn't there and they weren't going to be able to negotiate it for a possible price. So the biggest effect of that was the name change, and then, okay, I still got it in all its original formats. But that was a factor, right? So, but ultimately, be it the change from, to cartridge media, to rotating media, had certain impacts. But even if the current owner of D&D wanted to reach into my collection and disable my ability to play D&D on the Intellivision, there's no possible path. They cannot do it under any circumstances. And if Mike James here said, hey, Scott, you got another copy of that D&D? I sure do. And he goes, I don't have one. Can I buy one? I'm like, yeah, dude, it's going to cost you. You know what those are going for now? He goes, yeah. I'm like, all right, so 200 pounds? Fair enough. We made an agreement of what it was worth to me to part with. He gave me the money, and I said, you check on eBay and say they're going for 80 pounds, you stupid son of a...
Scott, we are no longer friends.
Yeah, but in the words of 80, I've already got your money, son. Yeah, but no, that's the thing, right? That's what that transition meant, right? So it had limits, even if future expressions of that media, were impacted. But what is unprecedented, this is not just a media change. Because what they have now is the power to retroactively reach into your collection and disable content that you have held for any amount of time. And because of that and the irresistible nature of renegotiating the deal constantly and reselling the same content, which already was a problem in physical media, it's going to go off the fucking rails in this new world. So here's what I see is at stake, right? And I got a couple categories, and this is where everything kind of fell. One is the overarching loss of true ownership. When you purchase a video game or movie or any media or anything of any kind that's intangible, the first thing you do is it says, would you like to buy this movie? Well, on what platform, it doesn't matter. Would you like to buy this movie or buy this video game? And sometimes they'll even say, well, you can rent it. Mm-hmm. So buy or rent. Okay. When I click the buy option, a license plate pops up. And I know the son of a bitch that writes it. All right. Well, one of my workout partners that I share some gym time with is a lawyer who writes these kind of agreements. Not so much for video game. It's more for like promotional liquor products, things like that. But he and I have had a lot of conversations about this. And what they're doing is the first thing that pops up is a multi-page definition that takes the dictionary definition of purchase, buy, ownership, and says that is not what that means. You're clicking buy. What you're getting is conditional access, revocable immediately for no compensation, which some people worry about. To me, I don't give a fuck about compensation. It's like, well, they took my entire Sony or, whoever, Amazon, took my entire movie collection and I didn't get any compensation. Dude, they took your fucking movies. That's even worse, right? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. To me, the issue of, they didn't compensate, it's like, and this comes up actually in gun ownership quite a bit, is you'll see states that are trying to confiscate guns, whether it's a state within the United States or a state is in, like, say, Australia or whatever, where they go, well, we're just going to do a mandatory buyback. It's like, well, hold on. First of all, my shit wasn't for sale, so, but a mandatory buyback. I didn't purchase the gun from you. So what you're going to do is you're going to take my tax money and then his tax money, and you're going to give me some amount of my own money that I have to pay for in taxes, and then I give you hardware items, personal possessions I didn't purchase from you. There's nothing buyback about that. That's, self-funded theft or whatever you want to call it, expressly forbidden in our Constitution. So you end up with a loss of true ownership, right? So when you purchase again, I'm using their terms, when you purchase or buy, be it a video game or movie or TV show, anything digital like this, the first thing you agree to is that you're not purchasing it. And I would challenge you to read the next time you buy anything digital, read the fucking thing on the screen and ask yourself at that point, am I purchasing this or am I buying limited access to it, revocable, starting the second I click the button? And be honest, and then come back and tell me with a straight face, this is just a media change and you're purchasing anything, right? You're not. So loss of true ownership is gone. The other thing is the elimination of tangibility, right? Now, Mike, when we did CG Adventures, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was one of the things regarding tangibility that we discussed? How fucking cool it was, right? The feelies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the coin or the map or the
dice, the manual, the lanyard.
We did the lanyard, the badge, the dice, right? In and of itself, the dice are, I bought them by the case. I mean, I think it was Amazon. I don't remember. But I bought, like, literally, it was like a brick of green dice, then a brick of red dice. So I had hundreds of dice, right? And, so what? It's because that stood out to us so much from prior products that we felt we had to do that. And now, like, you can go back and, like, you recall or reread the CG Adventure story, and that dude's still out there, man. The Def CD Thief is still out there, And, like, you can pick, mine's all boxed up, but you could pick off the shelf, open up the case, and there's the dice, the lane. Like, we did that, man. Mm-hmm. We it was no different than, like, the coin or the map or the little car figure, even going back to Monopoly, right? Everybody wanted that race car. It's a stupid little piece of cast pewter, but everybody wanted that physical race car, right? A little cardboard counter is not the same thing as that tangible race car, right? And we wanted it more than the thimble because the thimble was stupid and the race car is cool. So the elimination of tangibility, right? The click of the cartridge into the slot, the ability to make future accessories, right? If you don't have a product, you can't make accessories. How cool. I mean, some of the gaming accessories, not necessarily like games, but controllers, unique methods of input, the Wii Fit, dance pads, super scopes. Hell, even the Power Glove, man. You're never going to have that. That's all pretty much gone. People will go, oh, dude, you could just take anything in Bluetooth. And what's the odds it's going to be some generic piece of shit or a purposely designed device, right? So the next up is somewhat covered under loss of ownership is consumer rights are gone. Your rights are exactly what you just agreed to, which is nothing in your favor. There's no negotiation, right? The only negotiation left in this equation is the ability to say no. And that's it, man. That is 100% the only power you have left. And because, when I say you, I'm talking to the video game community, because you have thus far failed to execute it, and you didn't say no to the e-store, you didn't say no to, like, if they had rolled out the digital-only console and they had 7 sales and it cost them $32 million to do that design and production line, and they lost their ass on it because everybody only bought the physical console, right? And then another manufacturer, let's say like Microsoft, forced the issue, and they went out of business as a console maker like Sega did, and even a game maker, which they don't seem to care about anyway, not much of a loss for them. But point being, if they suffered knock-on consequences and the others go, oh, we better not do that or we're done for. Because the hobby, have failed to exercise the consumer authority of saying no, you're about to lose that authority forever, other than when it says purchase or buy, you're going to go, no, because the next screen is a giant, boilerplate telling me I didn't just buy this, and then it goes away when they want it to, and I'm saying no. So then what you do is you're kind of opting out of video games. And you got your friends, at the feed up, dude, I'm playing this new game. It's fucking great, man. You should be here, but you aren't because you're so principled, blah, blah. And the other thing that comes out of that, sort of the last category here, I have is the cultural and community loss, right? It's really easy to have a community centered around tangible things, right? Like, say, Blackpool or Classic Gaming Expo. Can you imagine attending a gaming expo, but there's no pinballs in the hallway, there's no arcades set up, right? The console area. You think of the console area at Classic Gaming Expo or Blackpool, right? You've got rows and rows of these, 8 foot by 3 foot tables or 0.9 meters, whatever the fuck they use over there. But you've got these tables, and you've got that ZX Spectrum, that Commodore 64. You've got all these games, the physical machines. If you've not seen, say, a ZX Spectrum or a Commodore VIC-20 in person, this is one physically out on the table, hooked up to a monitor, and you're playing it, and your bros are standing there with you, and you're all reliving or maybe living for the first time that experience that you didn't experience because you were the wrong age. You didn't get if you got, say, an Apple II, you didn't get a VIC-20 probably, unless you were Ricky, Schroeder or whatever. I was very fortunate to get, say, an Apple II at that age, but I didn't have a VIC-20. I never owned one or even saw one in person. I skipped straight to the C64. I was 30 plus years old before I physically bought, probably off of eBay, a VIC-20 and then said, oh, now I own a VIC-20, right? So that experience that you could have at an expo, and be it an expo or be it just a quick retro gaming night at the local bar or even some friends coming over, that's all gone forever, man. And what would that look like? Hey, Mike, what would Retro Gaming Roundup look like? I don't know. Remember that thing? What was the thing off of the Mike Myers movie where they would do the time travel thing? Yeah, Wayne's World. Or what's the one with the time travel? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right? Yeah. I'm combining a lot of Myers 90s properties together, right? But Wayne's Adventure World, or whatever the fuck it was, right?
Bill and Wayne.
What would it look like? yeah, Bill and Wayne's Excellent Time. But what would it look like to try and hold a podcast or an expo based around intangible gaming, right? Like, I don't know, Retro Gaming Roundup 2050. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great, thanks. Yeah. What are we discussing this month?
Fuck, look at you. Me, I'm still vibrant, you. Yeah, hairless motherfucker. So good to see you again for this 2050 January episode of Retro Gaming Roundup. Wake up! Fall off! NIS failed you.
I've got arthritis, so it could be 2050. What are we discussing? Is it that game that we used to play?
For your finger? Yeah, that was remember on the PS6 it was that game, the one with the city and it was all destroyed and broken up. What was that called?
I think I saw it on a website once. Was it? Oh,
let me go to that website.
Was it Broken City?
It's blocked. Was it what?
Was it Broken City 7?
Broken City 7, I think that's right. And where like the aliens invaded. Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. Remember how cool the aliens looked?
I don't, to be honest. I was going to play it the other day, but I can't, and I can't remind myself how they looked.
Purple, weren't they? Like, and they had tentacles, but I can't recall.
No, I think you're mixing it up with 6, not 7.
I don't know. Is there a picture of it all?
No, I don't think so. I think I took a screenshot of my score once, but I've lost it.
Oh, hold on. You know what? This is 2050, motherfucker. We got AI and everything. I've got this phone here, right? And what I did is back in 2028, when Broken City 6 came out, I set it up, and I videoed the entire playthrough, right? So I'm going to upload this into Claude 99, and I'm going to have it recreate the game experience into a playable, self-contained piece of software, because it can do that now, right? So, Mike, it's deleted it from my phone.
Why would it do that? It's your video.
But Apple said it violated content preservation laws, and they've deleted my video, so I can't run it through Grok and recreate it.
Your previously filmed content
of a game I bought, didn't I? And so I hold on. I'm just gonna describe to it and ask it maybe to recreate the game for me, right? Hold on. Mike, I'm being sued by Nintendo.
Oh no, not you as well.
Hold on, they rendered the judgment.
That's how we lost. That's why Random's in jail.
Random's still in jail?
Yeah, he tried video in a game in 2032.
Fuck me. I wonder whatever happened to that guy. Well, let's go to the expo this weekend, right? I'm buying a ticket. It's only $9,000, and I'm gonna fly over there, and we're gonna go to the expo, and we're gonna play pinball, virtual pinball, because we're gonna be sitting in the hall like a couple elderly jerk offs pretending we're playing a pinball machine, right?
Can you imagine an expo full of shit like that? No, that's
well,
not a world I want to live in.
Sets. Oh, hold on, wait. I just read it here, Mike. Sobe Games, because we don't want to get sued by Sony. Sobe Games is going to have their retro trailer there, okay? So what it is, it's a portable thing that they connect to their server, and they reactivate old games. So you can pay a license to go into the trailer and play the games again, and then you exit the trailer, and you have experienced the games again. And Michael, it's only $2,000 a license.
That sounds like a deal.
15 minutes, but you can play Broken City 6 again.
That sounds like a deal. Let's do it.
This sounds horrible.
I think the future's wonderful.
Now we get the Bill and Ted. All right, Mike, we're back in the present day.
Oh, that was horrible. I've just got to call Random real quick.
I feel like Random could do well in prison because he's not exceptionally, sturdy, but he's very wiry. He could like escape a prison rape by getting through the bars and climbing up. I mean,
he might not want to escape one.
I think he's gonna do good. But no, Mike, this is a terrible fucking future, isn't it?
Yeah, and some of that's a little extreme, but it's headed down similar roads. That's you're not owning anything. Everything's gone. Everything is just in the ether and disappears when they want it to disappear. But don't worry, here's the next new one.
Well, what you're describing is you're describing gaming libraries that have become account-tied digital licenses rather than personal property for the same or greater fee, and access depends entirely on the platform holder's goodwill, profitability, your account status, and other factors that are completely out of your control. And the secondary market entirely dies.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
No. And that's something we haven't really touched on, the secondary market, how many stores are going out of business because there's fuck all they can sell anymore. New, that is, or, barely new. It's just you're wiping out a part of the industry.
Yeah, all of it. Everything down from like a server that you log into a portal and experience a game temporarily and never, ever, ever own it, and you never, ever can.
Mm.
I don't like that.
No.
But you know what? Here's the thing, though. You can piss and moan about what's happening or do something about it. And if you're the only one or one of very few doing anything about it, where everybody else is rushing right over the cliff, it's going to happen, right?
Oh, it's coming.
So,
it's happening.
Yeah, it's coming. So I don't see any sudden reversal in consumer sentiment or habits or fortune or anything. What I see happening is the next gen will be digital only, maybe executing code locally on the system, maybe, yeah, still, but very walled off. And those will be systems that 20, 25 years from now, somebody will do a dump of, say, the protected memory of a Switch 3, and they'll get some games and then put those on, so you can now side load them and play them again. Yeah, maybe. But right after that, we go to a portal only, and that's it. Turn off lights, it's over. So the only thing that really can come of this is if somebody starts a company. I know this is not about to be the announcement of a new cartridge console. We've seen that fucking episode before.
We're bringing the cartridge back, guys.
I got these molds, but no. I think what it's going to take
and the first 100 people are going to get a gold one. So.
The next 20 get a purple one. But no, what I see happening there is this. I see this happening, and then hopefully somebody comes along. And not one of these ass clowns like the Kennedys or the Lamborghini Parkers or any of these other motherfuckers. Somebody comes along and creates a viable console with quality games on physical medium. And I think there is a boutique market for it. Whether or not anybody competent and honest can bring it to market, I don't know. Ain't gonna be me. I'm not interested.
Was Kennedy ahead of his time? I think that's basically what you're saying, Scott. Kennedy was a genius.
If Kennedy had any sort of forethought that fit with his nature, what he would have done is he would have been the first to create, guys, I got this new console. It's all digital only. You can only he would have gone the other way. But
who wants cartridges, right, guys?
Yeah. But see, this way I can take away the games after you've played them and then sell them back to you again later. Dude, can you imagine?
I'm going to have to get a new T-shirt. Cause digital.
Dude, they're going to turn this into the fucking McRib, okay? Are you familiar? Do you get the reference, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. So for any of you that don't get the McRib reference, McDonald's here in the U.S. does this sandwich called the McRib, but they've been doing this fucking gig, I don't know, I think since the 80s. Oh, yeah, Black KZC here says, they taste horrible. They're not food, you idiot. You don't fucking eat them.
What are you doing eating it, you fool?
Yeah. You don't go to McDonald's and eat the food. This is just stuff on TV.
McDonald's is where you go to drop off your food.
Yeah. In a hurry when you stiff-leg it to the front room. But the point being is... You know the walk.
Yeah, I do.
So
the walk of hope.
The walk of dire necessity and retention.
The walk of dire something.
Yes. So the entire point there is that you're going to have the McRib experience. So they're going to release okay, let's say Horizon Zero Dawn, the Great White North, and it's all what happened after everything up north froze over, and the because the ecosystem was offline for hundreds of years, and everything obviously probably froze up because your atmosphere wasn't all this stuff, right? So you have all this up north, right? So it's digital only. You play through it, okay, and then they sold you that for $59.99, okay. On a regular fucking schedule, they re-render or release the higher rendered assets that they made in the first place, do some slight editing, and release it as Horizon Zero Dawn, The Great White North, remastered, and they sell it for $59.99. So they're selling you the same game twice on a planned, rehearsed, deliberate release schedule, and that's what you're going to get. And I don't want to do that at all. So I'm hoping somebody comes along with a good alternative. But, now if I can quote Random here, Random is listening. I hope I'm paraphrasing him correctly. So his sort of worldview is, okay, I can't be bothered. I've got, 50 years of unplayed content. Okay, I mean, yeah, there is a lot that I haven't played too, right? And, but is there, it's kind of like, let's say you go back to watch series like, I never watched That 70s Show. I went back and I watched. It was great. It was about a 6-week adventure and watching 1 or 2 shows a day. And then it was over and I watched that, right? So that has its limitations, right? I agree with Randall. I've got a pretty curated ROM collection of every damn thing I could get my hands on and save. And, yeah, there's tons of stuff in there I haven't played. But how many Legends of Zelda type, scope games have I not played? How many, unforgettable platformers like Mario 1 have I not played? I don't think it's that many. I think there's some. Mm-hmm. I think Random has a damn good point that, because that's going to be your alternative is playing the unplayed, right? Collecting the uncollected. That's going to be the new frontier. But I don't think it's as a rich and rewarding feature for us, right? So I think what you're going to have is the McRib experience. Anything you played in the past will be dangled in front of you again for a limited time only, and then it goes away. And it's the same shitty sandwich they served you last time. So I think that's where we're headed, and I see the future of digital only, and it's not pretty. So
serious question for you then.
Yes.
What do you see you doing? So I think they've given a date of starting in 27. They'll start phasing out and finishing 2028. So do you see yourself buying a PS6 or just not supporting the platform at all? And what are you going to do for games?
Yeah, good point. No, I'm wondering this as much as anything, right? Honestly, I think I'll fill that time with other things. I love video games, don't get me wrong, but I have bought hardware without any real substantial interest in the library, but the library has never really been horrible on any console, even the GameCube. I looked at, okay, that's the kiddie console. It's all kids games. There's a couple gems on there, and it's a neat piece of hardware, isn't it? And we're still finding out things years later, the serial port, you can just talk to an SD card and add gigs of storage to it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Really? Okay. So much neat stuff comes out. New mods, new tricks, new exploitations, right? All that's gone forever, right? So what will I do? Well, I think what I'll do is I'll collect more of the uncollected. I'll buy more pinballs, more arcade games I don't already own. And I will buy maybe more cartridges I don't own, even if I have the ROM. And then I think I'll be definitely playing some of the undiscovered, right? Going through the back catalogs, maybe replaying games I haven't played in a while. But I'll probably honestly just accept that there's less to do. And I'll spend more time in the workshop. I'll spend more time in the, in the garage, working on tangible things. I don't have just one interest. I've got other interests.
Yeah.
And those interests will become more dominant. And yeah, I'll still have a home arcade. I'm literally building it, I'll still have games to play. And all these new home brews that come out, I think what it is, because I don't think I've been engaged enough in the home brews. I was certainly an early advocate of it. I mean, when the first, new cartridges started getting released at like CGE and all, I was one of the first in line. And I have many of those, that are, some of them were only done maybe at like CGE 2007 or something. And I think I haven't kept up with it as much as I want. Like, I bought some of the new releases for the Dreamcast and all that. I think that it'll be a combination of things. As I said, it'll be re-engaging long since played games that I've forgotten about. I think it'll be playing unplayed content. And I think a lot of it will be keeping a closer track and doing a better job at supporting the people that create new content for old systems. So if somebody creates a new, I think I'll have on my new games radar will no longer be what's coming out, on the PS5 or, the Switch or whatever. My games radar will be what are the indie releases for retro hardware. And I think when stuff like the PS3, 4, and 5 get, some of those are truly cracked. Well, I've got a beast at the door here. But I think what you'll see is as those the PS3 is pretty well cracked. The PS4 kind of well. PS5 is a little bit, But I think as those things get absolutely busted wide open to the scope that the, say, the Atari or, a GameCube or any of them has, those are still some pretty high-performance systems. I think you will see somebody, especially now with the ability to generate bulk art through AI, you'll see maybe somebody put together something on the scale of, say, a Legend of Zelda game using all AI-generated art, script generation, and they're just kind of like a conductor putting the symphony together. And then you have, you've got a game, and it runs on a PS5. And there's fuck all they can do about it because it's, sold on physical media, I think that he knows what he's doing here. This is why the back of my chair looks the way it does.
Yeah.
This was a brand new, very nice 24-hour ops chair a few, like 2 years ago. And now it's been Maine Coon destroyed. Yeah, he's ripped the rubber off of the whole thing. So,
some cats are pluckers and some aren't. Raven's a plucker. So
this is a mother plucker right here, I assure
She's
you.
a mother plucker too. So when she does finally pop it, we're getting all our furniture recovered.
Oh, yeah.
Serious question though.
Hold on, one thing that just popped up is I used to like my keyboard just died. It was a wireless, and I had this off switch on it. So whenever the beast here, like right now, he's right here. So whenever he hops up and decides he's taking over the console, I can hit off and he can lay on the keyboard. I can jerk it out from under him. And, with this corded keyboard, this off switch he started going for. I was like, shit. So now I got to grab, I got to replace this keyboard ASAP. It just died today. But, Now, anyway, so your serious question, but I'm very, and 100% hit your serious question. I'm very interested in your reflections on this, of your answer to the question you asked me. So go ahead, and what is your?
So yeah, that was kind of the serious question. The other thing, a couple of things you could maybe look at is, something of an indie console like the Spectrum Next or something, but no huge Zeldas or anything on that, but they are little pick up and play homebrew games. But going back to your AI generated game, the Oliver Twins did one. Everything was AI generated. It was fucking awful. I mean, it will get better, obviously.
We're also in the first couple years of kind of like, all right, you look at the Teslas, right? And Rivians, whatever. We're literally on only the second generation of electric cars. Now, ignoring the obvious, like the Bakers from like 1903 and all that. But in terms of modern, functionally comparable to internal combustion cars, usable, not just novelty things. We're only on maybe the second generation of that. And all things, like you look at a cell phone, it seemed like the most modern, insane thing 20 years ago, like iPhone 1. When you first saw Steve Jobs hold the iPhone 1 and do this shit, you're like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Now you look at one, you're like, oh my God, that's ancient, right? These modern electric cars at one point are going to seem ancient by comparison. So, yeah, I think that the output of AI is going to be ancient by comparison. And you're going to see I think the ability to generate masterpiece titles of this era, at least, will be there with AI as the facilitator. So that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. So for me, I don't play the big AAA titles. For those super big budget games, like Random, I've got tons and tons of game libraries I've not explored yet. And truth be told, I don't play video games as much as I used to. Like you, I've got other hobbies and interests. And I've talked about it before. I get as much pleasure modding a console, or getting a computer, setting it up with various programs and, emulation, or renovating an arcade cab, be it original or MAME or a pinball. I get as much pleasure working on that as I do playing the games. So for me, the hobby would shift slightly. I've no intention of buying a PS3 again, a PS4, a PS5, a PS6. Just not interested in the games that are there. They're not for me. They're not my games. I just love quick pick up and play puzzle games. I play some indie games. Got a ton of emulation to go through. And just enjoy other hobbies. It's not the only hobby. I got into tabletop gaming a lot of late as well. Played that with the family and stuff. So I'm not going to be sat on the couch thinking, oh fuck, there's no video games. What am I going to do? Absolutely not. That thought will never enter my head. Just move my attention elsewhere.
Like you, I agree with that premise. I might spend sometimes, weeks, months working on a pinball table or on a car. And that is a lot of fun for me. Then I might get done, take it for a rip around the area, and okay, I got that other project that I'm paused on and start welding on that, right? So, yeah, I enjoy the building and the modding as much as I do as much as the end product of being able to play it. Not a total substitution for, not more than, but as much. So, like I said, the hobby is going to evolve for me, but not into the world, But would I prefer to have a steady supply of new games? Because I do enjoy Epic titles, and I enjoy Twitch gaming. But, yeah, I would love to still have an ongoing supply of Epic first-party and second-party titles. That's over with. It's ending. Yeah. So this generation of games we're seeing right now for the foreseeable future is the last time you're going to be able to buy and own something like that. So, and it'll seem like it continues on without you for a while. And you're like, oh, there's people playing all these, they got the new Mass Effect, 7 or whatever. And what if I just put me back in the Matrix? I just want to taste the steak, No, not happening. No, because I know where that goes. And you're going to subject yourself to every horror that you complained about. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of my thoughts on the matter and where this is headed. So, yeah, I don't think it's something you can wave off and dismiss. It's changing the nature of the hobby for you, even if you don't think it will. I think it's really going to do that.
Yeah. All right. This is live news, people. Welcome to live news. I just wanted to touch on a subject, and we will dive into news. This is a news story, but we did promise you some time ago a four-way discussion on the topic we've just been covering. We may revisit that. I'm not sure. We've kind of done it now in a couple of different groups. The other topic is the systems we're going to include in the top 10s. And we got an email here from David Gyrick just this evening, actually, about 3 hours ago. Japan's major retro game variety show are to begin featuring PS3 and Wii games. And his subject for the email was, it's official. Now it's your turn, guys. So,
Fair enough.
so yes, we do fully still intend to have that discussion. It's been a busy summer for one or more of us at various times. It's just been really difficult to get the four of us together and reading WhatsApp at the same time. So we do intend to do it and bring that to you, but we're just not sure when. So for the time being, PS3 and Wii games will sneak in, don't worry. And we'll discuss the topic in a bit more detail. We discussed diarrhea not so long ago, and Random sent one in. You could see a map tracking explosive diarrhea as it spread across the US a few weeks ago. They put it down to Mexican lettuce, I think, being imported by Taco Bell. So that was fun. Or Taco Hell.
I think yes, I think the whole thing was slightly overblown. But,
yeah.
You know, oh no, yeah, that's what happens. You poop in the field and it goes in the lettuce, and then horrible
it's the
stuff.
Circle of life.
Dude, why do I suddenly hear that song? The circle.
The circle of shite.
Brilliant.
One man's shite is another man's shite.
So got one here from David Gyrich, Sony Coin. And he says it's going to be the hot way to buy all digital games. How topical. Topical like a cream. So Sony Bank clears U.S. hurdle for stablecoin that could be used across PlayStation and Crunchyroll to buy games and anime. Well, hold on, wait here. Son, when you say could be used to buy games and anime, is there any chance that my previously purchased content may go awry?
What about your previously owned coins?
Yeah. So if they've created a stable coin and they're integrating this ecosystem, yeah, I'm not going with you. Sorry. Enjoy that trip alone.
Yep. One here from Gareth Hamer. Console exclusive Silent Hill game finally gets a PC release 14 years later. And if it wasn't for this annoying pop-up, I'd tell you what it was. It was Silent Hill Downpour, which was an Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 game. Getting a PC release.
Okay, one here, Innovate or Die from David Gyrich. Is chasing power the wrong move? Games industry veterans say console makers have to innovate to survive. We should be afraid of the $1,000 console. Really, how much more ray tracing can you put in there? What this is, I bet, is the argument for let's just move it all server side. Okay, everyone should be afraid of the $1,000 console, Layton said. That's a whole lot of money. And particularly when a new console launches, you're not going to have a lot of games for it. You have anywhere between maybe 6 to 12 that'll be out there in the launch window. If you put that 4-digit price tag on the hardware against that, I think you're really slow the adoption curve tremendously, blah, 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 right? He believes that the change needs to come at the software level. We chatted for years about the PlayStation hardware and its innovations and price increases over the years. Blah, blah, blah. Sony ended up dealing with the $600 PS3, the $399 console worked, blah, blah, blah. Consoles get more expensive. How much more ray tracing can you put in there? 120 frames per second. So if, and hypothetical, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what's the solution? I think we're kind of limiting our reach, blah, blah, blah. So get to the fucking point where he says, yeah, we got to get server side. This is also the world's longest article. Let's see here. Discoverability, yeah, we did this 26 years ago at Sega, and we figured out how we can justify putting a console in someone's home in those days. Theoretically, it wasn't very much that we're going to block the other guy. We've got to blah, 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 blah. Yeah, basically he says, we just can't do home consoles. It's impossible, and we got to go to the cloud, and you don't own anything. And yeah, it took 200 fucking pages to say that, but and like we're not cherry picking articles to continue our discussion. Funny enough, like I thought that's a great discussion. Okay, let's move on to some other topics. All the articles are about what's going to happen.
And this one's about AI, which we also touched on. Charlie sent in AI fan translation. This one seems to be, it's just bitching against AI. So there's a Dreamcast RPG, and someone did a fan translation. It was Japanese only, but they used AI for the translation, and people are up in arms about it, saying, no, you've got to do a proper translation by people. Have someone do it. So they want a fan translation. Well, they want a translation. They just don't want AI to do it. I don't really get why they're angry, but I mean, unless it's a terrible translation that's wrong, which is a whole other matter. But the article doesn't say that. They're just bitching because it used AI for some reason.
I'm not against AI as a tool, but it's going to have to be kind of a tool, right?
Yeah.
Got one here from David Gyrich, CSS Doom. So not being a programmer, Mike, you may have to jump in and add some context to this. It says another port to check off, I guess. So it says Doom runs slowly in an IBM-compatible CSS sheet. So I don't know a great deal about CSS.
CSS is a cascading style sheet. So if you have a web page and all your pages have a theme, and you want your H1 font to be 36 pixels in Arial font, and you want it blue, you have a cascading style sheet that says whenever you have a tag that says H1, make it this size, make it blue, and your style sheet just specifies things like that. So you're not putting in the font size in every heading, you're just calling H1.
Yeah. So you're creating a variable for...
Yeah, essentially, parameter. Yeah. But because it's cascading, you can write things at the bottom that overwrite things at the top, sort of thing. The last rule applies. So how they've got Doom running in it, I don't fucking know. But
I guess you could. Yeah.
A Korean outfit are hosting a 1.44 meg game development contest. So obviously, with that size, your game has to fit on a floppy disk. Entrants must confine the entire file set, including the resources, the game engine, and libraries, and it all has to fit on a floppy disk. Where was this? I'm assuming it was Korea, if it's a Korean outfit. What was the competition? Game development competition, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it was an online thing, the 2P Game Arcade. Or is that the game that won? Anyway, you had to write a game that fit on a floppy, which probably not that easy these days.
No, I can imagine not. All right, so got one here from Charlie, and it's adversarial clothing. Garments designed to confuse facial recognition. Yeah, so I mean, we could go off on a whole other show. We could do another podcast on it, and there are plenty of cybersecurity and surveillance style discussions out there. But UK has already obviously got a camera up their ass every 5 feet. Parking lots of any kind are now AI. We saw this at the Norbreck, where even the dumpy ass Norbreck had a contractor come in and in a couple of hours put up a couple cameras, and now it's a profit generating center for them. And also, being that those databases are shared, it's another point in which your every movement is tracked. And here in the U.S., we have it developing in the Flock system, which I love these mother flockers that are going out there and cutting the cameras down with chainsaws. There's a guy who did a whole YouTube thing about the fastest way to cut through a 2-inch aluminum pole. Just neat stuff. But, so Charlie sent it in here. There are clothing designs out there designed to confuse AI so that you don't get tracked and categorized and pitched to every 5 fucking steps, which is another reason I'm buying a fortress out in the fucking woods, is I don't want to go in a store and have, the Blade Runner experience of every shelf. Hey, Scott, welcome in today. Do you need another screwdriver? We got them over here. It's $80 for you, but $20 for the other guy who. Oh, what? No. Pass.
Yeah. So a couple of quick fire ones here. One sent in by David Gyrick. More praise for Doom. The Washington Post selected Doom as one of the 25 most influential works of American culture. Not video games, but works of American culture. You know your game's made it when it's part of the culture. And one from Gareth Hamer. A PlayStation 3 emulator will allow you to run games without firmware. The article is on ixbt.games, not a site I've heard of before. Does it say how they're going to... It's a very short article. Wow. Read more on this topic. They just want to show you a few more ads. So I'm not going to do that. You can read it at your leisure.
Yeah, I love the idea. I mean, it's much easier to emulate games because the old standard of like for consoles that did have BIOSes, you had to download the BIOS like if it's Amiga CD32, or you had to get the Kickstarter. You had to get those ROMs as well as the ROM for the game. This removes that step. It makes it less easy for them to challenge emulation, which is smart. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hear a lot of, I sound like a Lego thing being rekitted, Mike. It's not me. I have no Lego to rekit.
Look, no hands.
Yeah. What I have is a Maine Coon that has decided that everything on the desk now needs to be explored, sorted, and categorized, and he doesn't want to be removed. So, like right now, he was going through this. This is a pinion puller to get a gear off of a motor, like electric motor. How you have like this, you would have a gear pressed on it, right? One of these is how you remove it. Why he suddenly feels the need to perforate the package and make as much noise with it as possible, I don't know. It just occurred to him. So,
while you're talking about motors and that kind of thing, there is on the top floor of the mill now. I haven't had a chance to go up and explore, but an RC club has started meeting there, and they've got a track laid out, and they have, I think it's every Saturday. If you've got a car you've got a problem with, you can take it in, and it's a bit like a repair shop. You can take it in. Either they may do it for you for donations, or they may show you how to do it, and you can use their tools or whatever. So I do keep meaning to go up and explore, but just haven't had a chance yet.
So it's an indoor track. Now,
indoor
is it
track,
on-road style or off-road style, or do they have both?
I don't know. Haven't been up and looked yet, but don't know. I would imagine they're just sort of maybe just use the base wooden floor, maybe put a mat on it. I don't know. They'll have some ramps and things, I would imagine.
Good, that's why it depends on whether if they're racing indoor or outdoor. Carpet is actually a wonderful substitute for dirt there. So you like a short pile carpet, something like a commercial business carpet, It grips extremely well. The cars don't get dirty, You can do ramps and jumps and all that. That's actually one of the features I'm going to add in at the new place is I'm adding in RC track. So, nice. But I'll do an outdoor one with, everything.
Yeah.
But, no, that's awesome, man. Find out when you get a chance, find out what they do there. If they do on-road, off-road, what scale, like is it all, like if it's like 1/10. See, let me know what if they have a website or something. I'm curious what they do. Because next trip over, I might bring something and we could go over there and and do a run or something.
I will go up and report back. Adi says the first rule of RC Club. Oh, which reminds me, I joined a fight club the other week, but I missed the introductory meeting. But I definitely recommend Fight Club. You should all join a fight club. Oh, back to E3, says David Gyrick. You can revisit E3 like you've never seen it before. And this is done through the Video Game History Foundation. The Electronic Entertainment Expo was the biggest event in gaming. These new collections in our digital archive will let you experience it for yourself. You can scroll through at your leisure and look at pictures of past events. They've got layouts, booth layouts, maps of the dome, that kind of thing. All stored for you digitally to enjoy.
I know some of these people. Let's see who we've got in here that we know. Frank Cifaldi. Now, Frank Cifaldi had some relationship to the Coleco Chameleon, didn't he?
Oh, he broke the whole story and solved it all.
Yeah, he solved the whole fucking thing. Yeah. Let's see. Who do I? Steve Lynn. That motherfucker still owes me my E3 badge. I guess that's in their museum. He borrowed my badge to get back in, and then took the side door out and never gave it back to me. Let's see. Mike Micah. I've seen that name a million times. Don't know what he does.
SoCal was trying to rope him into writing games. No, he wasn't a game developer, was he? Was he part of the board or something in past video game companies?
There was some
SoCal was trying to recruit him.
Yeah. Now, Chris Melcinos is pretty cool. I know him. He's worked with a lot of stuff. And he also had some involvement with the art of video games. And, and then Howard Phillips. So there's some good dudes in there, a couple jerk-offs, but E3 was a hell of a thing. And another thing gone, ruined. Thanks for that.
But you can experience it digitally, just like the video games.
Yeah.
So Gareth Hamer sent one in here, and Lord Neil sent. It's a different link, but it's about the same thing. I think creating a portable Commodore 64, complete with keyboard, D-pad, lovely screen, Commodore logos, and all of that. Big red power light on it. Yes, it looks like the same project. I think one links to the article. I think Lord Neil linked straight to the video, but very interesting project. Well worth a look.
So a couple of new Pi things that have come up. I just saw the other day that the Amiga OS has been running on Amiga has been emulated on Pi forever. But there's a new port of it that I guess runs natively and isn't emulated. So that's kind of crazy. Got one here sent in from Gareth Hamer, and it says turn a Raspberry Pi into a portable Commodore 64, right? So a guy did basically it's like a giant Game Boy, but big enough. It's just got the D-pad, start, select, and then 4 buttons, and it actually has a keyboard, right? And this reminds me of some of the old like Ben Heck stuff where there was no portable Atari 2600 ever before, so he cut down a board and did all that, right? So looks pretty cool. It's a 3D printed case, so it's a one-off, and it's the kind of thing you could do yourself. There's no kit, there's nothing coming, but kind of a neat throwback to the early days of the I don't know, Bash console or whatever you want to call it. Pretty cool.
Indeed. Jeff.
And
go on.
There's one more from Gareth Hamer about the Pi. Somebody built a beer inventory system. So they've got a Pi sitting there, and every time somebody retrieves a beer, I guess it deprecates that from the count and lets you know if you are running low on your favorite beer. If the stock falls below a minimum, it will add it to a shopping list. So yeah, I think a lot of fridges already have that, and that will be a feature. I don't give a fuck what the fridge does. If it scans, detects, monitors, categorizes, they're not doing that because they love you. That data is going somewhere. It can all fuck right off, Michael.
It can, and we had an article maybe last month or the month before where those fridges have now started showing ads.
No, I'm not doing it.
Indeed not. One here from Jeff Gerstmann. Final NES game rankings. So, Jeff Gerstmann, if you don't know, Wrote for GameSpot and Giant Bomb. Giant Bomb, the podcast and the site, I think. And he has finally finished. I think he played every single US released NES game, and he has ranked them from 1 to, 751. So let's have a look at the worst. 751 is a game called Hot Slots. 750 is Harlem Globetrotters. Let's just scroll through and go up to the top. His favourite game for the NES, Mega Man 2. We were just discussing that the other day. Wow. Okay, best NES game? I don't know about that. Let's try and just skim through, pick out some, see where he put them. Legend of Zelda, an obvious one, is number 4. Super Mario Brothers 1 is number 3. Super Mario Brothers 3 is number 5. Zelda 2 in number 6. I really do need to revisit Zelda 2. I said it when we discussed it in a top 10. I think it was you that said I needed to.
Yep.
So, yeah, I do need to revisit that. Contra is number 12. RBI Baseball is 15. Metroid is only in 16. Interesting list. You can check it out and see if you agree or otherwise.
Got one here from Gareth Hamer again. Gareth is killing it this month. Some good submissions, too. Thank you, Gareth. PC gamers can now play fan remasters of The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. So, originally released on the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. So, these guys said that the issue, as they saw it, was with the textures. So, they said rather than doing a one-click upgrade, they wanted to do environment, character, and texture, environment and character textures packs. And the UI element has been treated with care to ensure that the result is a natural evolution of the original vision. So I think that's noble. I mean, like anybody can just upscale the whole thing, but does it feel right? Does it look right? Does it have goofy blends and all? So, yeah. So that is the kind of stuff that if you're going to do a playthrough, you know, of course there's the original, then maybe you look at the upgraded one. But these guys that are doing these side projects, I think are going to become the foremost creators of content in the hobby.
They could do. They won't have far to go to beat Xbox, according to Dave Lanke's article, because Xbox this last month had a big outage, affected huge amounts of people, if not everybody. But the kicker was, it didn't just affect your ability to play online games. Even if you had a game on disc, you couldn't necessarily play it, because the console is obviously just phoning home all the time. So even if you had the physical media, you still couldn't play your game. You really can't cut that cable back to mothership.
Nope.
Dumb,
so, funny
dumb,
thing
dumb.
here, got one from Mr. Gibbs, and it says, caught cheating. Now, this is cool, man. This is obviously a scan from an older magazine, and it says Game Grams, right? And this particular letter is from Paul Geisler, Topeka, Kansas. Now, I remember so many things just like this, questions like this people asked, right? So he writes in and says, Dear Atari Club, I have learned that on Space Invaders, if you hold down the reset button at the same time as the power switch being turned on, your laser cannon will fire double. My question is, will this hurt either my Space Invader cartridge or my Atari console unit? Yeah, man. I mean, like, there were these legends going around about that, like, especially to do with monitors. If you connect a CGA to a VGA, you can damage, electronically, But mainly just like even like a resolution being out of range. Oh, they'll fry your monitor. This, all these stories. And that was a discussion, like, because there was so much unknown at the time. And the reply is pretty cool. We have received quite a few letters from readers who discovered ways to make Space Invaders laser cannon fire 2 shots on screen at once instead of the usual single shot. Some of you got the effect using Paul's technique. Others suggested a method in which involves flipping switches in combination very rapidly. We checked it out with Atari engineers, and we're told that Pulse Techniques works, and it's perfectly perfectly safe, perfectly dangerous. What is it, Atari? I'll never know. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Like that, the glitching was a real topic.
Indeed, it was. What was I going to say then? Oh yes. Yes, we have several top 10 topics on the boil, sort of. We work on them a little bit, before we finally do them. And one of them is top 10 sort of gaming legends, it's called at the moment, or maybe gaming myths or something, but, not 100% finalised. But it's those things you heard in the playground. If you play Jet Set Willy and go and stand on the boat and wait till the clock reaches midnight, the boat sails away and you get to a secret island and, all that kind of stuff. And people were dumb enough to sit there and do it. Did it actually work? Did it not? Because you had no internet.
True.
You just didn't know.
Yep. How many times did you sit there waiting for the boat to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I did so poorly in 8th grade, just sitting there, waiting on the boat.
Yeah.
But
I don't think the boat's going, dude.
Yeah, and listeners, if you have any of these anecdotes, legends, playground legends of be it console or arcade or whatever, send them in to news@retrogamingroundup.com, and we'll try and incorporate those into this upcoming list. So,
yeah, either ones, well-known ones, or ones that just made it around your school, your group of friends. We can shove them in there as honorable mentions. Maybe we heard about them, maybe we didn't. So yeah, send them in.
So Atari and Twin Galaxies announced Atari World Championships. Yeah, I don't know what the current state of Twin Galaxies is. I completely lost track. I mean, back in the day when it was Walter Day, see what I did there? But you had Walter Day still associated. Then around 2011, this dude who owned an aviation airfield services company bought Twin Galaxies, and I think that went awry. I don't know what the current state is, but yeah, I mean, I actually, you know what? I'm not pegging any hopes on it. But with regards to companies maybe doing the right thing, Atari has such a current and upcoming golden opportunity to not be the people that revoke when you click buy and you don't buy. They've got a chance to do new cartridge, more modern game. They've got a chance here to be the guys. And I think they missed a golden opportunity when they came out with that. Whatever was supposed to be the big Atari console, it's supposed to be equal to the Xbox or PlayStation, and they did nothing. They had nothing. It could be done right. I sure as shit hope it does. One more one here from Charlie that I had pulled up I wanted to hit on. Sony designed the original PlayStation for 16 megabytes of RAM. Modders just delivered it. Okay, so these are big things. That could also maybe lead towards game preservation for us. The original PlayStation console launched with only 2 megabyte of main RAM, split across 4 512 kilobyte chips. Okay. The CPU can address up to 16, right? Sony didn't populate them, and that's it. So later on, this hardware was used. In fact, if you look at like Pac-Man, Battle Royale, a couple of those were just PS2s, like cut down to their bare minimum, and they added more RAM. So the CPU was modified to have up to 60 megabytes of RAM for certain applications, yes, but it was always capable of more. So now that these guys have figured out, a little daughter board to solder on and, increase the memory, obviously that does nothing for prior games per se. You've just got extra RAM that's not being addressed, right? But homebrew, think of how good the potential is if you suddenly have 16 megabytes of RAM in place of 4. We're going to see some cool shit maybe.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I say that the hobby will evolve, it will, and it'll be more like, hey, do you have a 16 megabyte modded console? Or of course the emulator will instantly include the ability to address these, mega memory games, what have you. I see a lot of good things that are going to be there to bolster what we're losing.
Yep. And we love fucking about with things. Oh, couple here. One from... I wish pop-ups wouldn't happen. Who invented pop-ups? It is...
Some rent-seeking middleman.
Yeah. Gareth Hamer sent in GOG, finally bringing its all-in-one Galaxy launcher to Linux. So GOG, obviously good old games. They have their own launcher. So if you've got a library of their games, they are DRM free, and you can use it to look at your library, download them, launch them, etc., etc. There's a way to do that in Linux already using Wine on PC, or if you're on the Steam Deck, you can use Proton. But I don't think it's a launcher. It's a third-party launcher, but they are finally now bringing a launcher to Linux. But hopefully all the games will work, but there's probably quite a few that are Windows only that won't, initially anyway. The other one was Peter Gibbs, Good Place to Find a Box. And this is a Japanese love hotel where somebody found a rare Nintendo Famicom box found in perfectly operational state. The Famicom box was it a kind of kiosk thing? You put loads of cartridges in and you had a menu and you selected one? Yes, it was. It supported 15, I think. 16 cartridge slots with an internal one running the software and 15 games. Yeah, that's right. So somebody found one working in a love hotel. I don't know if they were working in a love hotel as well. Maybe just visiting. Maybe renovating. Who knows?
Yeah, working in a love hotel. Well, what kind of work? A working love hotel? Performing work there?
I don't know, man.
I was on shift just...
There was another cool NES discovery as well. Just trying to find out. A couple of people sent it in. It was a box of 97 Super Mario Brothers games, I think they were. Found in perfect condition in a box. And they'd just been in storage somewhere. I'm scrolling through.
What
By the way, we had...
It's a long narrative.
We had 85 news items, so... Hence my slowness in scrolling through finding them. So I found a follow-up. Gareth Hamer sent a follow-up. Apologies, but I can't find the original one, just scrolling through quickly. Under pressure. Live on the internet. You know how it goes. Rare Nintendo games found in a Waukesha shop are now up for auction. So this is the follow-up. So somebody found a box of 97 of them. Immaculately, still individually wrapped, brand new cartridges. I don't think they were boxed. I think they were just carts. But they are now going up for auction. 97 Super Mario Brothers / Duck Hunt cartridges.
What's interesting about it is you would have thought maybe this was early in the life cycle. This was super, super late.
Yeah.
So the date on the shipping was 12/19/95. That was 95, man. That was like the last one Nintendo was making.
Yeah.
So these look to be like cost reduced. There's a manual and a game. You know,
is
Super
it a
Mario
different
Bros.
label? Is there something different about them?
It may say so, but this is a very, very long article. I didn't read every word of it because we have
never before seen version of popular NES games. It was sent in by random. I've just found it. So yeah, they were maybe a reprint, a rerun, or some modification of the original. But yeah, there's something unusual
probably just
about
a cost
them.
reduced,
Could
cartridge
be.
that they were going to sell.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a pack-in or something, so they had cases of them, but they never did the pack. I don't know. Very interesting though. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is there a lot of economic value to these? I mean,
if you're a
nerd, sell them for. Well, I mean, we got this many of them.
I mean, if there's 97 of something in the world, they have an inherent value. Whoever is interested in them, whatever hobby they belong to, 97 of something is not much. But I don't know. It's like
this article is so in depth. There's a picture of this guy with his carry-on at the airport flying home, and he's like, just a normal guy with 97 NES cartridges in his carry-on.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a great, speaking of flying home, it was a picture of a guy going through TSA, and he had a T-shirt on with a guy bending down in front of another guy, and the slogan on the T-shirt said, "It's not gay if it's TSA." Brilliant. Thank you for your service.
Oh, that's how I handle them. Yeah, I used to give them a hard time. Now I just thank them for their service. And then, like, by the time that I'm sitting on the plane, they're like, "Hey, wait a minute. That guy wasn't being serious."
Well, just wait till next time.
Yeah.
Oh, won't be working here next time.
So, got one here from Gareth Hamer, and it says, "Proving Doom can actually run on anything." So, yes, it is true. A guy did a port of it on Commodore 64, and a guy says here, it doesn't necessarily look fun, but it does look like Doom running on a C64.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that come out at the time on a C64, it could have maybe been a big thing. But today, it just, I don't know. I like demakes. I'm not against demakes, but that might be a bridge too far.
Yeah, so this one, Peter Gibbs' email titles are the best. This one just is simply rimming. And it's an article loosely connected to Skyrim. And a guy had a nickname in the game Skyrim, which was the same name as some kind of criminal. And they arrested him based on that. And he spent 2 years in jail, apparently. Why he went through court and they'd found out it wasn't him, I'm not sure. I haven't read all the article. But yeah. Seems like a very odd one. Maybe he was a criminal. I don't know.
Hey, they're loose in this hobby. So, Mike, there's one there from a Soaring Camper that I think we should look at later offline before we say anything, but interesting. The NES Advantage Stick gets a Bluetooth upgrade. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. The NES Advantage is a great, really good freaking arcade-style joystick. I never had one back in the day. I actually liked the D-pad, but I've really come to appreciate the thing, you know. So a guy got a board here that basically has the inputs for, left, right, up, down, whatever, and then codes it to Bluetooth. So, yeah, it replaces the original cable, and you can pair this to just about anything and use it. Now, I think the missing piece here is the plug-in receiver that would go on the NES to allow it to work with an original NES. And I don't see that mentioned here at all. All that, okay, hold on. Oh, okay. He's using the 8-bit do receiver. So, okay, he did account for that. He used the off-the-shelf ready-to-go one. Okay, of course. So, good. No, that is neat. Because wireless controllers were always such a neat thing that never worked right till they arrived. But I had a set of wireless joysticks for the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had these big, like, rubber duck antennas, and they were like a joystick, but they were like that deep. So, like, you held this thing, and it had, like, big, I mean, nowadays you could shove one of these into the bottom of a CX-20, but, of course, wireless CX-20s exist with a receiver if you go and buy the 2600 Pac-Man edition, which is, I think, one of the neater features of that edition. So, pretty cool.
Yeah. One here from Peter Gibbs. He says, a front end for you and I. The letters U and I. See what he did there? And this is Takyudon's console mode for the Mr. FPGA. If you've got a Mr., used a Mr., seen a Mr. running, the menu system is pretty much white text on a black background. There may be other colors available, but the menu isn't the prettiest thing, and he's basically made console mode for it. So, a UI. for it.
So funny enough, in clever initials, I saw an article here from Charlie. It says SMB Super Mario Brothers ported to SMS, and I instantly thought like texting,
Text.
like you're gonna play.
Go up. Okay. Jump. Oh, I missed it.
Well, I text jump, and you reply boing. I mean, but
How high?
I like the cut of his jib. As I jump, he says how high. Of course, Sega Master System, good hardware, very a peer, certainly capable of running it. And I wonder about, it's got some neat sound. I wonder what he's going to do. And it says, I plan to add FM sound support at some point. Okay, so obviously still ongoing port. That is pretty cool. I think novelties like this are going to become more and more what I care about and spend my time and money on in retro gaming or gaming period versus, yep, these things I think will become more prevalent.
The end of the world. Not yet. I mean, it's an article. The end of the world, how players mourn the death of their favorite online games. Online multiplayer games change the trajectory of games, but the cost of keeping servers running means every virtual world is doomed to die sooner or later. I mean, really? I mean, how much does it cost to keep a server running these days? Well, with power in the UK, quite a lot. But, I mean, really? If you're a video game company, is it that much? Probably not. An article sent in by Blake Brett. What's the crux of the article? Yeah, it's just companies, as we discussed earlier, deciding when games will go away and no longer supporting them. I mean, we talked about it going back, oh my God, years on this show. Talking about the end of the Wii shop, the end of the DS shop and that kind of thing. How much did it cost Nintendo to keep those servers running? Probably not much, but then,
nope.
Did they need to keep patching and doing that kind of stuff and the teams had moved on? I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily cost. It's probably more convenience than cost.
Well, interesting article here from a fellow, and he puts in a quote from Microsoft, right? And it is, Microsoft has already said that Helix will play PC games. So making these older Xbox titles available on PC helps build a broader Xbox library that can travel between devices. Similar to what is already possible with Steam. Okay, creating all these digital licenses helps set a future of consoles without disk drives. Sony already declared disk games dead. Microsoft is expected to follow suit. Yeah, but your license is, okay, Microsoft to sell OG Xbox and Xbox 360 games. Okay, if I go to eBay or whatever, and I buy an Xbox 360 or Xbox game, I now own that game for perpetuity. If I buy it from Microsoft, how long do I own it till the next product is released? Maybe. So, yeah, not interested at all.
The end of EA, according to David Gyrick and The Verge. EA is now a private company. They have sold out to fucking pop-ups. No, they've not sold out to pop-ups. They've sold out to the Saudis, whether it's a conglomerate, a consortium, I don't know, but they've sold out to Saudi money. It was the Saudis were buying shares in something else as well, weren't they? I forget what it was. I mean, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Probably not the best thing, but I mean, it's oh my God, pop-ups. Stop it. I shall have to turn scripting off for this page, but never mind. It's officially become a private company last September. An investor group led by Saudi's Public Investment Fund, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners will be taking the company private. Okay. What does it mean for us? I'm not sure. Is it an American company? I know they've got offices all over the place. Is it an American company? Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, of course. Electronic Arts.
We shall
so
see.
Similar evolution here, but maybe a positive in our direction. So the Peter Gibbs says is that the Commodore may be open. So there's been just all these dueling lawsuits. We have seen Commodore since the 90s has been nothing but an ongoing lawsuit. And apparently there's a number of deals that have been inked that will help unify Commodore. And although there are multiple companies involved, I think maybe what they realized is after all these years, none of them were ever going to get rich doing this, and that they had best cut this shit out and figure out a way to actually release this stuff while people still care that are still alive. So, I mean, let's face it, we got, 20 to 30, maybe 40 years left of our generation. And how many of that are we going to spend buying replica Commodores? So I think they decided they had best unfuck themselves and start making some product, which is the exact opposite direction of major studios closing down because all they're interested in doing is Funko bobbleheads and revocable titles. So until the products start flowing and the result is seen, I will be cautiously optimistic. But at least I'm cautiously optimistic, which I've never been before.
Yeah. My favorite headline from this within recent times was, Commodore prevents Commodore from launching new Commodore.
That was the state of affairs.
Yeah.
So another quick one just from Gareth. He threw in here that I saw this as well. And it's not really at all retro gaming related, but you can certainly say it's retro. So Guinness bottles were found on a shipwreck from 162 years old, 162-year-old shipwreck. And the theory is that they think they can extract the yeast DNA and make a yeast and replicate the original 162-year-old Guinness. So I'm going to guess it still follows the UK Mike principle of it turns your shit black and breaks your head. So,
yeah. A Guinness a day turns your shit black and makes you fat. So Guinness do, as many big brands do, they do an alcohol-free. They do a Guinness Zero. It's actually really good. There is a slight little taste there you can detect that isn't in the original. But I've started buying that this summer when I've been coming home from work and, it's 30 degrees or whatever. We'll sit out in the garden till late on and which is part of the reason we've not really watched many movies or anything. We sat in the garden just chatting shit and, having a drink, enjoying the weather. And I've been buying Guinness Zero. So, I'm not, hammering the drink every night when I come home from work. So it's just a really pleasurable beverage. So well done, the Guinness Company, and the sterling work they do.
I will have to keep an eye out for that. I bought a number of the non-alcoholic beers over the years, and there's a pretty high level of disappointment with most of them. No matter how many you fucking drink, dude. I mean,
yeah, I know. Yeah, it doesn't get any better. Yeah.
No, if Guinness can nail Guinness, all right, I love it. I love it. So
I've had some pretty awful ones, both IPA style beers and ciders. Some better than others, some pretty awful. But the Guinness one, yeah, I'd be interested to hear your feedback. I think it's spot on with just a tiny little taste that isn't in the original, but I really got to like it.
And now from What the Fuck Files comes What the Fuck? So I got one here from David Gyrich, and it says, watch, okay? Too bad it doesn't play games. And I thought, wait a minute. Are we doing game watches that don't play games again?
That's
for
a watch.
Stupid prices. Yeah. Oh, look, they've done it again. So, super groupies, Sega watches, turn consoles into collectibles. What? Okay. So, they say what they're doing is there's 3 watches, a Mega Drive, a Saturn, and a Dreamcast. And basically, it's just the graphical depictions of the controller buttons and then the lid of the console. It's just art on a background of an ordinary watch at $319. So, why? I'm not a watch dude. I don't wear watches, accessories. I don't necessarily get the whole watch thing. But the idea of a game watch was always a cool thing, and every now and then see a modern interpretation of it. And I had really high hopes for some of the new watches, smart watches that were coming out, because now you've got, a high-res, large screen, processing power, storage, Bluetooth for controller inputs. We could see some amazing game watches. And of course, we didn't. But every watch I buy, I destroy. I bought one of the, when the Apple Watches first came out, I bought one of their ones, and I'm pretty rough on watches, admittedly. So it was maybe a month. I cracked the crystal on it, and then I contacted or went to their website, whatever. See, all right, do they have replaceable crystals? No. What will they, why? What are they going to charge? $80, $100 to replace it for another 30 days of use? Oh, we'll recycle it for you if you send us $30 for shipping. Oh, fuck right off. And then, just not for me. No interest. If you like to look at a picture of a Sega Dreamcast lid with a watch hand moving for $319, this may be for you.
Yeah, I bought a smartwatch, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, just a cheap one, 15 quid I think it was, just to see what all the fuss was about. All the heartbeat stuff, blood oxygen, God knows how they measure that, but they claim to. Sleep patterns, that kind of stuff. So I was just interested in the technology and how it worked. It was a pretty shitty watch, and I don't wear a watch or any jewellery. So after a few weeks of messing about with it, I got tired of it, put it in a drawer. And then earlier this year, maybe 6 months ago, I found another cheap one just on Amazon. It was the same form factor as an Apple Watch. Looked nice, well presented. Claimed to, you could do calls on it and all that kind of stuff. Had some newer features that the old one didn't have. So I thought, okay, I'll try that. 15 quid on offer, why not? So I tried that one, and it was better. I could answer calls, I could read messages, but it's like having a fucking job. Like, I get a text message. My phone says, you got a text message. Then my watch says, you got a text message. Okay, can I read it on the watch? Well, you can read your last three. Okay, what if it's the fourth one? No, got to go to your phone for that. Okay, can I reply? No, you got to go to your phone for that. I'm like, okay, done. I'm out again. And I sold it. I paid 15 quid for it and sold it for a tenner to someone at work. And then she came in the next day and said, have you got any more of those watches? My son wants one. I said, no, but I've got an old one, like he can have. And so I gave her the really old one as well. So just got rid of the pair of them. Just not for me. But, I mean, like you say, good technology, high-res screens. You literally don't need a phone now because you can get watches with eSIMs in them. So, we confiscate phones at school when kids go into an exam room. We now have to confiscate watches as well because they can literally just ping, Google search on a watch. So, yeah, we confiscate everything now.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah. Oh, also, new development starting. So school comes back next week, midweek. We've got a staff day. Well, bank holiday Monday. Tuesday is a staff day. Wednesday, a phased return for the new kids. And then Thursday, everyone hits school again. And we're handing out these phone pouches. So they're like a Faraday cage. It's a soft pouch, big enough to fit a smartphone. You drop your phone in. You walk up to a magnet on the school gate, bang it, touch it on the magnet, and it locks the pouch. And so the kids can't access the phone all day in school. And it's like a Faraday cage, so they don't get any messages. The phone's not ringing, etc. It won't, and if they've got a watch connected to it by Bluetooth, can't remember if the Bluetooth still works, maybe not. But, they're not getting messages. And then end of the school day, they go out, walking out of the gate, hit the magnet again, it unlocks, and they get the phone out. So we've had to buy 1,600 of these things. About 20 grand we've spent on this shit just to keep kids off the phone in the school day. So
yeah, I think the mistake was ever letting up the hammer when it came to no phones in school. Like, dude, I remember, like, I had a vice principal that, like, I had my like a Walkman with headphones on, and he, like, stops me, grabs my jacket, reaches into my jacket, pulls out the Walkman, and then points towards the class I was headed toward, told me to keep moving, right? Well, I just stole my Walkman, right? So the thing is, with phones, all this modern tech, you let them have it. It's just another distraction to an already almost hopeless environment. So I think that should have never been allowed, because now, like we see this here in the U.S. too, where they're trying to unwind allowing devices in school, right?
Yeah.
And some of the biggest proponents of keeping it are these fucking parents, where it's like, well, what if I need to get a hold of my student or my child, or they need to call? Well, they're in the middle of a fucking exam. Yeah. When was that ever a thing?
Yeah.
So I think that the absolute necessary thing here is to unwind it and just say no. I mean, you can't have it. So yeah, be it the bag or be it just enforcement, like your ass is actually suspended if you whip out the phone,
Yeah.
It's got to be done. So
yeah. There was a school over here, so we've just had exam results all over the country. There was a school in London. It was in quite a deprived area. Loads of poor kids going there, and they had this head teacher. She was a female, and she was super strict. 3 strikes and you're out kind of thing. No messing about on behaviour. And the education authorities, other schools, social media, other parents from other schools just went for her. Like, you can't, you're disadvantaging all the other kids by educating the clever kids and making them clever. Like, it's what? No, that's not a thing. And she has just achieved, like, super high marks. I forget the exact, grades, but 70% of these kids in this fucked up area in London have come out with better grades than the rest of the country. And she sat there on this picture in the article like, see? And all these other people are like, yep.
But yeah, no, we had the exact same issue. And funny enough, like the state of Mississippi, which is one of our lower historically ranked states, basically went ahead and did a lot of these things, and also went back to teaching, the way it was. And when people came along and said, oh, but what about the ones that don't want to learn? They're going to be disadvantaged. I mean, no, fuck it. They literally went to like number 1 or 2, depending on which category, in the country for, for education in those categories. Yeah. Fucking astonishing.
Yeah.
So, no, take these little effers phones away, make them learn.
Yeah.
Got one here from David Gyrich. Failed Battletoads show info. That's kind of cool. Now, I like the Battletoads games, and there were a lot of Ninja Turtles knockoffs that did come along, and some of them were what was the one with the mice, like Samurai Mice or something? Battletoads. I mean, I don't think Battletoads is fairly called a Ninja Turtles knockoff, but there was the radioactive biker mice from Mars.
Yes,
like
that's it. Yeah, I can picture it. I couldn't think of the name.
But there were any number of these attempts to create a Ninja Turtles success, right? Because who wouldn't want that kind of money in their life? So this guy here, this article says, I thought it was a slam dunk. How the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles led to a failed Battletoads TV pilot. The guy that came up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pitched Andy first. So it's a pretty long article. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there are some. You've got these mutant kind of guys, and they fight with ninja weapons, and there's these other mutant animals. But I don't know. I mean, Battletoads was definitely a quality game that it was not depending on its knockoff connection to be a quality product. It was actually a good game. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what becomes of it.
To put some brief numbers on what we were talking about earlier, Nintendo reports that 38.5% of their sales are physical. Now, I'm just curious about that number. Obviously, it's lower than I thought it would be, but then Nintendo also probably class physical as an empty case with a download key. So I'm not sure. Maybe the article explains it in detail. I don't know, but the number seems low to me. But then, the Nintendo eShop, I don't know. Maybe they shift a lot of shit there. Usually retro titles.
Yeah, I don't know. Got here one from Peter O'Brien, miniaturizing Atari 2600 console. Hackaday article, and basically a guy built a new I kind of would have swore this had been done decades ago, but maybe not. Guy built a new PCB that utilizes the original Atari, the TIA and the PIA and the processor and all that, and just the necessary support electronics. It's got a cable header that goes off that plugs into a cartridge, and then AV outputs. So, yeah, it is pretty cool. Couple that up with if you got this old Sony Watchman, and you got kind of an interesting product.
Couple of Quake ones back to back. A gamer finds a cancelled Quake 4 expansion on a PC that he bought from Amazon. Did Amazon say it was was used or previously purchased? I don't know. But yes, that was one. And to celebrate, where's it gone? Did I move it? Oh no, sent in by Random Dave, a brand new Quake episode. Machine Games and id Software celebrate Quake's 30th anniversary with a brand new episode, i.e. level for Quake.
Mike, I got something here to celebrate.
What's
the British
that?
IBM
Live.
live.
What are they doing?
They're going to be live, Michael.
No. What?
Shady 80 and his band of shysters are going on the road.
Oh, my God.
Friday, 9th of October of this year. So we're bringing you in, and to credit 80, we're bringing you this information in August for an event in October. This isn't the recording on October 3rd to be released on the 6th to find a. So,
hey, you did a concert last month. You should have been there.
Yeah, should have been there. Hello, RGR. We're playing I like how he's so formal, oh, we haven't met. Hello, RGR. We're playing a full band gig in the real world on Friday night, October 2026. It'll be at the Retro Computing Museum in Leicester. And this is why, and there'll also be a
Leicester.
bar and retro. Leicester, sorry. I got a lot of words that ran together there. So there'll also be a bar and retro gaming. Ticket link and full details are here. He did it on Eventbrite, so
So he's already got your money, son.
He's already got your money, son. But you go to the show notes and then look in the links, and there'll be the Eventbrite link there. Michael will make sure that happens. And then you can go see the British IBM live. Not to be missed.
Not to be missed. And I won't be there, sadly, but it marks off part 2 in a trio of retro weekends, because the weekend before is Blackpool. That weekend is AD's live gig at RCM. And then the week after is Crash in Coventry. So I will be at Play, Blackpool and Coventry. Sadly, I won't be at AD's live gig in between. But I have seen him play live at the RCM. It's an event not to be missed.
Unless you're not there.
Unless you're not there, in which case, well, you're going to miss it, aren't you?
Don't be a jerk and go to this. So, got one here from Mr. Kaminsky. Mr. Kaminsky. And it says, love me some watches. Now, he's a watch guy. I'm not a watch guy. He's a watch guy. I know I mentioned their CEO was making moves. I don't know if I needed this in my life. And it is a Nubio. I hate it when you don't know whether it's the brand or the model or what. Ventana automatic Atari Nubio watch, right? So what did they give here? It's the Ventana automatic retro gamer. It's automatic. Well, fuck me.
Wow.
No more manual business, boys. So what it is the Atari emblem on a single watch hand that has windows. You know, I don't know what time it is. I'm looking at this watch, and I have no idea what time it is. So, also $300+ and yeah, doesn't play games. Have you, Mike? Have you seen this thing?
I have. I saw it when it came in. I was also similarly confused.
I'm befuddled, Michael. I'm confounded.
Yeah, but I do know what time it is, and it's time for us to just cherry pick maybe a couple each now, because as I said at the start we had 85, and we rattled on for nearly 2 hours about random stuff, and interesting and prevalent stuff, and hit the news articles late. So maybe we'll just scroll down, cherry pick a couple each, and then we will get out of here and save some for next month. There is a couple that I definitely wanted to hit. I will scroll down and find them. An interesting one from Gareth Hamer. There's a Steam Deck user who made a USB-C floppy disk drive you can plug into the Steam Deck and launch games from. So you're not really playing the game on the floppy drive. It's simply, a means to execute a game. So that was quite interesting. What else was there? There was a couple I wanted to talk about. Gareth Hamer says, GoldenEye 007 for N64 has now finally been 100% decompiled. The success of a half-decade project opens up the possibilities for complex mods and ports. So big, fan base for that game, obviously. So expect to see developments for GoldenEye on the N64. What else did James Pond? Go on. James Pond Legacy. The Pond is not enough has been announced for Switch 2. So the return of James Pond, sent in by Gareth Hamer, David Gyrick, maybe a couple of others. In fact, somebody followed up with that, and it was Gareth Hamer, because AI made people angry again. I think the trailer for it, I saw the links come in, so I knew about it and read about it. I didn't watch the trailer, but the trailer was, people say AI generated. They denied it. No, it's not. It's not. I don't know if it is or it isn't. I haven't watched it still, but the game could have got off to a better promotional launch. But James Pond is returning.
All right. So, one that I saw, I wanted to make sure we hit before we wrap up here, Mike, and I think we're right on the dot of wrapping it up. We did sort of a speed run. I actually knocked out that last column pretty good. If we didn't get to your stuff, sorry. And if you submitted and it was multiple, that's good too, because 2 is 1 and 1 is none sometimes. So, interesting application here. The Humble Wii Nunchuck has been turned into a video editing tool because it's one of the most ergonomic things ever made. So Gareth Hamer sent this in. The Humble Wii Nunchuck has been turned into a video editing tool because it's one of the most ergonomic things ever made. Links over to an article on PC Gamer, and they show using DaVinci Resolve, and there's all these different little macro pads and engines that they use. And this guy figured out, hey, you hook up a Wii Nunchuck, and you get a nice high-res, easy-to-use, perfect video editing tool. So I like that. That is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. One more AI one. Manic Mayina. Sent in by Lord Neil. Somebody has recreated Manic Miner using AI. It has so it's all the same levels as Manic Miner, the 20 levels. You can play it in original mode or in AI generated mode. I'm not sure why you do that. They did that, I think it was on the DS. They did a Manic Miner game with both modes. I just played the old mode. The old mode is fine, really. It is. And that, I think, brings us to a wrap for this month. As Scott said, thank you for sending all these in. We did talk a lot at the beginning. just an observation, not a criticism, of course. So we didn't get to all the news items, but we shall, of course, keep the ones we didn't for next month. As Scott mentioned, you can find the links, including the event for AD's British IBM concert, on the show notes page. All the links we mentioned, and some that we didn't maybe, will be in the show notes. So check out the website while it's still live and not being DDoSed by AI bots again this month. So I am checking it every day and blocking them should they occur. So I'm trying my best to avoid a Cloudflare type, verification, but it may come to it. You'll find out when you go to the site one day. But thank you for joining us. We had a few in live, a few chatting. AD says 20 questions. Sadly, we don't have time for 20 questions tonight. Maybe we should bring back 20 questions. I do have the machine. I'll have to check the batteries. Might have to buy a cock ring when I'm in Blackpool and top up the batteries in that thing. But yes, so thank you for joining us. Sorry?
Stranger things have happened.
They certainly have. Yes, usually in Blackpool. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Podcast will be late. I am away this month. This weekend. So I will only be back, I think, on the 1st. So show may be a couple of days late, but hey, we've already got your money, son. Say goodnight, everybody.
Going up either.
Nighty night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.